This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet. We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter.
Yeah, I want.
Here's
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it. It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
That's right, it is showtime, and it is Wednesday, and it is July 16th, right here on Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast, like clockwork, God willing. And tonight, here we are. After going through weeks of, shall I say, technical difficulties beyond the realm of anything I can do, it goes way deep into the bowels of the engineering gods and all that. We're finally back on, and plus I paid the bill, so that kind of helps too. But it's really great to be here. I want to welcome everybody who's tuning in, will be tuning in, and all down the road for tuning into the show tonight. Tonight, I got a great show tonight. It's like kind of funny because just as the intro was playing, I kind of got that feeling. You know when you get pulled over by the cops, that gut kind of weirdness for like nervous or whatever? That's how I just felt, and I don't feel like that unless I get pulled over by the cops. So it's because I got a great show tonight, and I got a great guest tonight that I'm happy to say is on the show with me. Free thinker Matt Kim from the Matt Kim podcast is on this show, and the reason I like talking to Matt is because I can talk to him about just about anything. As far as I know, so far he has yet to fail me, and that's the problem, though. There's so many things going on, personally, just casually, professionally, politically, that it may be a 5-hour show tonight. So buckle up. Get your stuff, put it by your chair, get a porta potty, whatever. Just going to be a good show tonight. So I'm pleased that he's going to be here in just a few minutes on this show. Plus, forgot, he's grouped up with some of his people. And I got to say, have you ever looked at something on your phone, you're curious about a product or something, or you even thought about it? And then every place you turn around, that product of somebody is popping up all over your computer, your phones, this and kind of that. He's got, for real, a way to hold on to your privacy, on the internet, because even when they say your internet is private and personal, is it really? But we're going to talk to him about this, about how to keep your private stuff on the internet private for real. And I'll let him explain that later on down the show. But to me, that's important because this has gotten really out of hand. I mean, you can't burp and there's a medical thing popping up about acid reflux. I mean, I swear this is making me crazy, but he's going to be on in just a few. So you're going to want to just stick around because it's going to be great. Also, for the past 2 weeks, I have tried to have veteran rock journalist Mr. Steve Rosen on this show because of his book. Gotta show you this. This is awesome. Tone Chasers. Let me get it to where you can see it. It's too shiny. Tone Chasers, Eddie Van Halen. His 26 years of a journey with Edward Van Halen. He spent the first 26 years when they were just starting to make it in the business, and he's hung around and interviewed him a million times, and he's got a authorized biography of Edward Van Halen. I mean, he had this book that was getting ready to be before Edward ever knew he was going to pass away and things like that. But all I can tell you is not only is this a beautiful book, he's a great journalist. because of the delay we've been having in getting him on the show because of technical difficulties and scheduling difficulties, I've now had the opportunity to listen to his audiobook version, where he actually has original tapes from the late 70s and 80s of him and Edward actually talking, whether it's on the phone or in personal hanging out. And it's friggin' amazing. It's got to be 40, 50 hours of audiobook. And I'm on like chapter 45 right now. And awesome stuff. You're going to want to join me next week, all right? Next week, July 23rd. I know I've been promising this for a while, and I apologize. Stuff happens, but sometimes 3 times is a charm. Great stuff. Listening to that audio tape, I mean, I swear I've had a few encounters with Edward Van Halen back in the early 2000s. And I mean, in my head, when I'm listening to this stuff, it feels like, we're still in the here and now, but we're not. So you're going to want to check that out, all right? Also, would not be the same if I did not remind you to please, please, please subscribe. It's subscribe, follow. If you're on Facebook, my Facebook is great. Just follow because you can't subscribe. It's all free. If you're on YouTube, YouTube is killing me. We're going to talk about that tonight. They've got their thumb on. They have never given me a break since 2020 when I started talking about the old Jabberini. And they just sent me a letter again, which I'll talk about later in the show, about how they're holding their thumb on me because I'm just a bad boy. I don't know. But I still go to YouTube, hit the subscribe button. I really want to stick it to them. Nothing is free. Who said that? That's true. But nothing is free. Look, wait. Nothing is free. Oh, come on. This is actually free. I'm not asking for nothing. In fact, I'm losing money right now. But it's okay because I love you. All right. Tell Rebecca Barr self about Matt. Well, so they're all coming in, Matt. Sorry, hang on. Told Rebecca Barr self about Matt Kim. Okay. Whatever that means. He's laughing, so must know what the hell's going on. All right. Anyway, so just please subscribe. And I know it takes a lot to sit down and listen to a show of this stature. An hour plus, 2 hours with Matt. It's gonna be a lengthy show because we're gonna cover some ground, and we got stuff to talk about. But if you're busy, Google Peter G Show podcast, put an earbud in your ear. You could take this show on the road. We're on 26 different audio podcast platforms, along with the 11 different live video platforms, your Rumble, BitChute, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, if they allow the show to stay on the air. They don't pull it down like they do. Lately, they haven't been pulling my shows down. They've just limit to who gets to see them. So I don't know which is worse. Knowing it's there and people don't even know you exist, to even call you names or tell you, I love you. But either way. Anyway, but that's how we do it around here. It just pisses me off because, a lot of thought goes into it. And I see a lot of people that they're doing shows no different than me, basically, except they're not me, talking about the same basic stuff, even worse. And they're on no problem. And me, they just don't, they can't handle it. They can't handle the truth. Sorry, I'm still watching. There's a whole lot of comments going by now, but right now, here's what we're going to do because I want to get with Matt. We'll be right back. But first, I want to hear from my good friends from Clean Star Products and their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver. And then we'll be back and we'll bring Matt in and we're going to have some fun. So here we go. Be right back.
Hello, it's Tyrone Thompson here with Clean Star Products, and we're here with William.
High-end car service.
And we've just serviced his Cadillac Escalade 2024. And we're going to be giving it a go to see what kind of results he'll be getting in his fuel mileage and any performance differences, and be checking with him later.
All right.
Thank you, William, for participating in our environmental program. We're here with High-End Car Services, my friend William, who's been using DX1 for a small time now. What kind of results have you been getting?
Up to 45.1 miles per gallon best results, and the engine has been quieter, and I can definitely feel the power in the engine. I have a diesel.
Thank you so much. We're going to keep going with the program and check in with you later. We appreciate you.
The
Long Life Engine Program with DX1 Driver is the only safe environmental product for your high-mileage engine. DX1 is a non-toxic, clean-burning oil that goes into your fuel and your engine oil, providing lubricity for gasoline and diesel engines. You save on average 10% gasoline and 15% diesel fuel consumption. Call now for a price quote and place your order today. It's the Long Life Engine Program from Clean Star Products and Tyrone Thompson.
That's right, Clean Star Products for their money-saving fuel additive DX1 Driver. I got 2 words for you. It works. It does. It works. It makes a peace sign. I use it myself. I wouldn't believe it, but I tried it. I used it. I continue to use it. And again, if it wasn't so simple, I wouldn't, but I do. And I mean, this is just one of their versions of it. It's, this little bitty bottle right here. Okay. This is for your average SUV, not SUV, 4-door sedan. SUV is a little bit more. It's about double the size. They have a big V8 engine. I drive a bigger vehicle and I use one that's a little bigger, but you just pour this little bottle into the fuel tank, fill your tank full of gas. When you get a fresh oil change, put one of these little bitty bottles into the crankcase. It lasts the whole oil change. And I started noticing a difference. My Ford F-150 Super Crew is a high mileage vehicle, and I started noticing the difference. It started not only getting better gas mileage, but I could feel the power difference. Because let's face it, when you start getting older, things start changing, all right? No pun intended, but it's the truth. And cars are expensive. They're tools to me. I'm over the flashy shit. I'm done. Although I'd still do it. But I take care of my stuff and I don't go through them as quickly as I used to because it's just a big waste of money. And I like what I'm driving. But this is one way to take care of it. Good food, good body, same thing for your car. But again, don't believe me. Do what he said. Give them a call. Go to www.cleanstarproducts. There's the phone number right there. I'm putting it right under your chin so you could eat. Okay? Couldn't be any simpler than that. Talk to them. You'll probably even talk to Ty. You got questions, ask him. They got a good product, they're proud of it, and they know it works. And if you talk to them, they answers your question, you decide to order, tell them you saw it on the Peter G Show. They'll send you 5 bottles for the price of 4, okay? 5 bottles, price of 4. A deal's a deal. A deal's a deal. But you got to mention you saw it on the Peter G Show. Right there's the phone number, or go to their website. Lots of information. All I can tell you is it works. I would not talk about something if I didn't believe in it, and that is a fact. If you've spent enough time around me, you pretty much get what you get with me. I'm real, and that's it. If I don't like something, I don't like it, and I don't do it. But they're sincere. They're proud of what they do, and they do it well. So just go for it, all right? Right there. There's a lot. There's the number. 5 bottles, price of 4. Mention you saw on the Peter G Show. And that's what I got to say about that. All right. Real quick. Can't start the next segment until we take a sip. Oh. Smooth. Don't let it match. All right. So here's the deal. About a year and a half ago, I tracked down, more than a year and a half ago, I was tracking him down, but I was hounding him because he was getting so popular so quickly. In my mind, I mean, I saw this guy come out of nowhere, and I liked what he had to say because he said things in a much more calmer tone than me. Complete opposite. Like, I just can't help it. My inflection's a lot more intense. This guy was calm, collected, could say the exact same thing, but he said it to where it wasn't as, you didn't feel intimidated. And I liked him a lot. And so I didn't know how to get a hold of him. And I'm watching him on Instagram, and my Instagram sucks. If you ever go to Instagram, please follow me. They're another one. Some places are great. Some places I just can't get arrested. Don't understand it. We'll talk about that. So I'm constantly texting him or sending messages and doing this. And finally, I got hold of him. And he answered me. And then I said, okay, I'd like to have you on my show. He says, yeah, okay, we'll talk about it, get a hold. And then it took me months and months again to finally, I don't know, again, he was blowing up. But he came on my show about a year and a half ago. And I finally said, you know what, I want him back on because that was the first time and things are changing so rapidly. Let's get him on the show again. So this time around, because we already started creating a friendship, he got a hold of me and he said, yeah, come on, no problem. It's like, all right, we're in business. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Matt Kim from the free thinker, Matt Kim from the Matt Kim podcast, right here on the Peter G Show. Hey, man.
That is an intro. Wow.
The band budget is very slim right now, so but it's all good. How are you?
I'm good. Happy to be on the show. Thanks for having me. It's second time here. I actually don't go on second shows often, so if that says anything, what I think about you, I appreciate it.
I appreciate. Look, the second time us talking was so much easier because it was so hard getting a hold of you. Because let's face it, back almost a year and a half ago or so, you just kind of just exploded.
Yeah.
And so it was hard. Everybody was at you, and I get it. It's like, especially if I'm trying to find somebody through Instagram. Like right now, I'm trying to deal with Tyrus because I love Tyrus to death, and he was supposed to be on my show 3 years ago before he came out with his book. I already liked him, and he blew up. And it's like you look on Instagram, and the first thing you look at is like how many followers they got, and it's like, oh, screw him, Peter who. So I knew I was up against. You were growing. I was sitting there drowning in Instagram. I'm going, this guy, if I can ever get him and convince him, and here we are, second time around. But
yeah,
good.
When I first started kind of getting big on Instagram, I didn't know you shouldn't reply to everybody. So I got in the habit of actually replying to a lot of the DMs that I got. And the problem with that is that it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I don't actually get through that many. So something comes in, I'll spend 15, 20 minutes and I'll try to respond to people. And then I put it aside and then everything comes to the top. So it's just really easy to get stuck down. Because I made a couple of videos where people would just send hundreds or thousands of DMs sometimes. And I really wanted to make them feel like I'm listening, but it's just impossible,
It is. You can't keep up.
It's just roulette,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was, and I've also learned little tricks on. If you can get in on a post real early before it gets to those hundreds and thousands of comments, you may stand a chance better of being at least seen. I took a lot of advice from somebody who is in the music business, way bigger than me. And he told me, he said, Peter, don't read your comments. You love to see the good ones, but the few bad ones here and there will wreck your brain. And I cruise around, but I tried to stay kind of neutral and just, forget about it. But
I read all comments. Comments. Yeah. Because I feel like it gives you a sense of what people are feeling. If they're angry, and you can only feel the kind of trajectory or the change in the mood if you're watching them all. If you only watch them sometimes or you read them sometimes, then it feels like it's angry. But if you read them constantly, you can see the anger spike or the anger go down. You can also kind of get a pulse of your audience, how they feel. And a lot of times people leave mean comments, but they come back. So it's just them vetting. And they spent their time to write a comment, especially publicly. I think it deserves to be read. I mean, who wants to write something? And you said, sometimes I'm out on YouTube and it feels like they're hiding me from kind of YouTube and the algorithm. And if that's how you feel, imagine how the people that comment feel. If you're not reading them, what are they leaving them for? So I really try to go out and read them,
I get it.
It's time, but
how do you know what's real? I mean, the bots, the things that I'm seeing right now, people complaining that there's bots all over the place, zooming in on them while we're watching this.
Check it, everyone, if you're for the channel. You know what I mean? You guys know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll find one. I just saw it, but there we go. It's Quintessa. You're a bot too? Hello, that's a joke. You're a bot. All right, too many. I mean, we're going to Quicksilver. These must be your friends.
If they're trolling, they're mine.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like you get some, and sometimes I'll go deep and I'll go, I'm going to find your profile on it because Facebook. I got a lot more people on Facebook, it just for whatever the reason, and you get the people and they got no profile, like there's nothing there. So I'm going, you're not real, So I just wasted time knowing that I knew that, but they're just, I don't know how they work, what they do, but they do it.
Yeah, the bots also guide the conversation. They also add engagement. The reality is bots aren't free. So if someone's sending bots your way or people are botting your account, actually it's because they care.
Eh.
They don't just go around the internet and go to random places. There's a purpose, even to bots. So if they're there, embrace the bots, embrace the trolls, embrace those that hate you, because at the end of the day, we live in an attention economy and attention is king. And if the bots are showing up, the trolls are showing up, it means you're doing something right.
I was told, and I truly believe this, that even the people that hate me, because I get a lot of hate mail too, but they're here for a reason. Whatever they may think that they're here, to hate on me, they're still watching. So they're here for a reason. And I still have faith that I can turn a few to open up their minds. Some people, some men you just can't reach, but there are those chosen few that are willing to listen. So we just keep on going.
Yeah, I mean, I think that engagement is a really big part of being online. I think that the people and podcasters or people that run shows that ignore their audience, I think that's a huge mistake, actually. I think you should engage with them. I think you should have fun with them. I think they are part of your show. I don't think that they are watchers. I think that they're active participants. So we try to encourage people to get involved. We try to prompt them to give opportunities to fight each other in the comment section. I value them so much, and I value them much higher than, I don't know, the platform or YouTube or whoever itself. Like, screw those guys,
Look, well, let's take
platforms.
For example, Peter is a real Greek, or is he Greek? That's a huge nose. Thank you. I am Greek, fucker. So there, bite me. I love you.
Yeah,
you know what?
That's awesome. I love the chat. I love the chat. I love the comment section. I think they're the best part of doing this. And to be honest, if I didn't read the comments, if I didn't have a chat, I don't think I'd do this. It's the most fun part of all of it.
Dude, I'm with you, but there comes a point like you can't get, there's just sometimes there's so many. Again, I have some the shorts, the highlights I do through the week. Some get 10, and some will get 7 million. So you come to a point like I'm looking, I'm scanning, I like to see what's going on, but you can't do thousands. What are you going to do? I'll give a check mark once in a while, like a thumbs up or this and that, but I can't, you just can't do it. And you're way bigger than me. So it's like, you can't reach everybody. So I hope they don't take offense, but yeah. Anyway, I am Greek though. Listen, he's not telling me nothing that I haven't heard since I was a child, and when you're a child, it's really weird because I did have a big nose, but my face grew into it for a long time. Now I'm getting older, so now the ears will start growing and the nose, like we're going to go full circle again. But so far, as long as I wake up every day, I'm good. So here we are. But yeah, I am Greek. So there. I want to talk, before we came on the air, I was asking you about your daughter, because you have a very young child. And because I knew that the show is late for you right now. It's probably, I don't know if you do many shows at this time of night, but it's 9 o'clock on the East Coast, after 9. And we were talking, and something hit me today about, because my daughter's 19, almost 20 now, and it goes by like that. And I was thinking about you, because your daughter, how old is your daughter? 2?
She's about to be 3 in a month or 2. Yeah.
I was thinking about that because I get it's summertime, and in the summer we used to travel a lot, and I would take her to see my folks and things like that. And I was thinking about, and this is what I wanted to talk to you about real quick, because you'll remember this. Before your daughter starts school, now you can, like, we want to go here, we want to go there. You can go anywhere you want, and you just throw her in with you, and you can go anywhere you want. Once school starts, everything changes because she's got school. We can't do that. She's got school. We got to wait until then and there. And that changed everything for me. Like, everything revolves around your daughter going to school, and like, well, we can't because we do this. And then after 12 long years, it's over, and then you can get back to your routine, whatever that is. But you're going to see the difference on how convenient it is right now that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want with her, if you can. And then when school starts, come a few years into school, you'll think of this and you'll say, damn it, Peter was right. It's like, it kind of changes that.
My wife is what they call a tiger mom, right? So our daughter goes to the library a couple times a week. She has ballet. She has gymnastics. She has the church she goes to. She has a music class. She has another class. I think she goes to 5 or 6 different activity and classes. So she's out for about 3 or 4 hours every day, and she's not even 3 yet. So she's extremely active. Her schedule is really tight. So we actually schedule around it. I would rather her participate in kind of the programs that we're putting her in versus like if we had to go somewhere and she had to miss school for 2 weeks, public school for 2 weeks, I don't think I'd care, to be honest. We would just take her. Because what is she going to miss in 2 weeks of public school? Like, not very much. You know, the life experiences and the world experiences that we give her outside of school, I think, are much more valuable. So actually, I'm waiting for the moment that she has school because we don't stack all those other programs on it because school now, meaning that we'll probably actually go away more, if that makes sense to you.
No, it does. Again, I just started thinking again as, you know, life is changing, but I just know that, and I was thinking about the evolution of as your child grows up, and I didn't know how. Man, your people are just breaking my balls like there's no tomorrow. I swear to God. Peter G is old school. I don't think he knows about the new, brighter world we live in. It's like, oh really? Oh really?
We have computers, Peter.
How do they work? How do they work? It's like, I got stories that'll freaking make your head spin around, but I keep those under wraps. You know, this is a pretty deep show, but that's nothing. There's more here going on. Anyway, so I was just thinking about that, and I just know that everything changed with the child because it's really about the child. But I just started thinking about that. I said I'm going to bring that up because you got the freedom, even though she's busy, you still can do what you want when you want. Now, if you homeschool, I guess you can, do what you want when you want to, but it was different. When I had to fight in court because of my divorce about, her even what school she went to. So that was old school. And speaking of old school,
I think modern parenting, you have to actually do both. You have to homeschool and you have to send them to school. I think it's a combination of both, actually, because just sending them to school, it's not going to be enough. They're going to teach your kid shit that you don't actually need in life. I mean, if the last however many years of my life is any proof of that, you don't use anything you learn in school. But this next generation, especially kids my daughter's age, the things they learn in school, the education system has no chance of catching up to where technology is going. They're so behind. So it's a huge waste of time, but you still want them to be able to succeed in that environment. So it's going to be that, plus you have to teach them at home. I think the more important thing to do in life with your children right now is to teach them to think independently, think for themselves, to problem solve, because that is actually going to be the only usable, valuable skill in the future. And anything school related, I mean, your computers, your AIs, everything else can do that for you anyway. So, I mean, what are you wasting your time for? You have to learn to think, and you learn how to experience, and you have to learn how to navigate. And you can't do that sitting in a classroom. You have to be out there in the world.
No, I got lucky, at least mine. As she grew up, she knew how to decipher the bullshit, the indoctrination. Like, she's got to. I got so blessed with that, and it wasn't me putting it into her head, because you know how it is. Schools now are just really getting weird about what they need to do, what they had to do, and all that. And she didn't buy into the program, and I'm very blessed for that. But anyway, like I said, because the reason I'm bringing this up is because I know that's your most important your most important thing out of the whole world. When that child is born, that's your greatest investment, your greatest love. I mean, all the above. So I always talk about this stuff. This show started because of my divorce and me having the struggles of making sure that I was available for her every second I could get, because I no longer lived under one roof all the time. So just wanted to bring that out. And because family is important, man. I think families are getting harder and harder. Life is so busy that nobody congregates anymore. They're all over the place, and you forget, and just too busy to go see your grandparents or whatever. And that's important stuff. That's part of bringing, your upbringing. So I wanted to bring that, but I just want to touch on family because I like doing that with people who have family and understand it. And for those who may, have family that are, calling me names and stuff. It's all good. Like I said, I think they're secretly starting to fall in love with me. This is what's happening here. But I got.
Yeah. Well, my kid, we do this weird thing where we do no devices, She gets maybe 1 hour of TV or cartoon a week. It is all puzzles. It is all books. It is all playing outside. Again, the whole technology is so good that she doesn't even play with the device, but she knows how to go through the apps on iPhone. She knows how to zoom in. She knows how to zoom out. We've never taught her how to use a phone, but she can figure it out that quickly. And she figured out when she was under 2 years old without having access to one. It's that intuitive. That's good. That's actually scary. But so I'm not worried about the technology. We remove as much technology as possible. Teach them to think, teach them to solve problems, and the rest of it, they're going to figure out so quick. Technology is just, it's so intuitive.
Yeah, well, kids that are growing up these days, I mean, look, when I was growing up, my parents, I remember showing my father only, before he passed away, when it was Skype, when Skype was around, in its early stages, maybe 2014 or something like that. And I'm on it showing him somebody from Connecticut that we used to know. And his mind was everything was in the computer, it was in the laptop, that he didn't understand how it was coming into the whole deal. So it's the same thing with us now. These kids are coming up and they're basically born with that stuff inside them already. It's just the way it is. So it's kind of par for the course. I'm going to shift gears. I've been watching some of your shows when I'm scanning around.
Okay.
I've been seeing.
Not for the light of heart, by the way.
Well, I just wanted to see what Matt Kim is doing nowadays, because for a while you kind of disappeared. And, because I think he's burning out. I didn't know what was going on because you were going so strong. It's demanding. And then you came up and you started doing shows. You're doing it with Peter?
Peter.
Okay. I like the name. Good choice. And so I'm watching you guys banter about a few things, and there's a few things that I'm going, really? You're talking to, there's so much to talk about. Again.
Don't make me get canceled or lose my channel today. I'm not prepped for that.
What do you mean? No. This is not bad stuff, but I mean, I heard you mention. I mentioned something about you don't understand women, and I'm going, did you remember saying this?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good, because I saw that. I go, really? I go, I want to know why you don't. I mean, I don't think that you're in touch. You should even try to understand, because I think everybody's different. But I mean, where were you going with that whole thing?
Well, I believe men and women are different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've never lived my life as a woman. So for me to understand their perspective, it's crazy. How can you understand a perspective that you've never actually lived or been able to figure out? And, I love my wife. My wife is awesome. I have no idea what the hell she's thinking in her mind. You think one thing, you say one thing, she's thinking the other. You try to be polite. Apparently it's not. It's just really difficult to do. Sorry, there's my daughter running in the room right now.
Bravo.
So I don't know. There's a lot of men that try to speak on behalf of women, and there's women that try to speak on behalf of men. Yeah. And your life experience is different. What you deal with around and what your challenges have been are different. Yeah. I think it's just better to acknowledge differences within people, within races, different genders, whatever it is. And then you can actually solve problems. This idea that everyone's equal and everyone's exactly the same and everyone thinks the same and everyone's supposed to be the same and everyone's culture is the same. It's bullshit. It doesn't actually work,
Who says that?
A lot of people, apparently.
I do believe everybody's gone through different upbringings and again, the gender difference and perspectives are a hell of a, experiences. And based on that, I mean, I've dated women that, I'm carrying the cross for their past. And I'm going, not fair, not fair. Good women, but there's sometimes things happen. And then, some women I've had encounters with is I'm thinking one thing and they come out with something. I go, where'd that even come from? So I quit trying to worry about it, but it is important because especially when you're trying to get along with them.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's kind of blending of men and women are exactly the same, or men and women have to be exactly equal in every category. It's creating this kind of weird sense that, okay, if men and women are equal, then why can't I change interchangeably between the two? That's the logical next solution to that, actually. If you stick to the fact that men and women are different, then men becoming a woman and women becoming a man actually is a problem because you're different. But when you say they're all the same and oh yeah, they have exactly equal and equal rights for everybody. I mean, the rights should be equal. The government should treat you the same.
True.
But as far as people in humanity, men and women are different. What's wrong with that?
Everybody's
I have
got
no
different.
problem with that. I don't think most men or women have a problem with that actually.
No, I don't think so either. But again, I've found that like I've had some really close women in my life that were kind of like guys. They thought like guys. I mean, beautiful girls, but their mentality was like she was like one of the guys, except way better looking, and you go, she gets it. She gets it. And I go, because she's kind of must have a guy gene thrown in there somewhere, but very much a woman. And so they're all different. I don't know. I just had to ask because I saw you pondering with that thought. I go, dude, you're walking on thin ice when you start trying to break that whole thing.
I think majority of women, if you treat them like women, then they actually appreciate it. What actual real woman wants to be treated like a man? That's actually not true. They want to be treated like women. And
no, absolutely.
You open the door for them. You're polite. You treat them like women. You take care of them. You protect them. I mean, what woman goes, oh, I hate that, and if they do, then they're not going to be that pleasant to be around anyway.
Yeah, no. Okay, let me just reiterate so we're sure. When I say that she was kind of like a guy, she didn't think like in the roughness of it, but the mentality of like she
manly hands, calloused.
Yeah. No. We're not going there. She but they understood like when you're talking to them, there wasn't a like they look at you like you're crazy. She kind of got the whole whatever your intentions are. It was just a much more meeting of the minds a little bit more. I don't know how to put it, but I do that for every woman or whatever when it comes to holding for people in general, holding doors. I mean, it's just kind of normal courtesy stuff. Life, being a
women
decent human
men
being.
are men. I have no problem with that.
Well, I got that too. You talk about doing your shows and not being able to figure it. Like, have you ever? I'm sure you've done shows that. And you go, man, this one's going to kill. This is a great topic, this and that, and it doesn't do what you're thinking it's going to do. Do you get into that? Do you even think about that? Because no, I don't care anymore. But I used to.
I don't really think about it. I mean, I think I'm really fortunate that I don't really think about monetization on my podcast or my show. So because I don't have that burden, I don't really think about the numbers. It's more, are people engaging? Do people enjoy it? Are they commenting? Which is, again, why I read the comments.
Yeah.
And as far as metrics and things like this, it's not that important. Every once in a while, I'll look if something's doing really well. And especially because I'm mostly on YouTube these days, like numbers actually don't mean much. Because if it feels like I'm trending in the right direction, YouTube will just humble me, And that's really what I call it. They're like, oh, you're getting a little too proud. We're going to humble you. And we're going to bring you back to reality. You ain't shit. And we're in charge. And unfortunately, I'm like, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. And you move on. And that sucks. I wish it weren't that way. But, YouTube's in charge. We live in YouTube's world when we're online.
It's their platform and this and that. Well, I don't care. Unfortunately, I don't care about numbers either. But some business people do. And I don't monetize either because I never cared about the nickels and dimes. I mean, unless you're big, you don't make what dream most people may think you're making or this and that. But I just put together pieces, and sometimes I'm going, you just want the satisfaction of people appreciating what you're putting the effort in to talk about. And that's what bothers me sometimes. You're killing yourself and go, it didn't do shit. It's like either that or it's not being seen.
YouTube is algorithm, and if you really want to force views and you think that a topic is good, the topic being good actually isn't good enough. There are so many factors involved, and I've thought about a lot of these because I like to geek out the numbers. So you have to worry about like what's your thumbnail click-through rate. You have to worry about what's your retention time. You got to worry about, are they leaving your channel? Are they going to another channel? But those are the two main things, And if you want people to stick around longer, then you have to clickbait them, and you have to put in moments. You have to put in cliffhangers. You have to plan that all out. That's why the best are the best, because they think about all these things. And that's why the smaller channels actually don't grow, because they don't do that. So it just depends when you're watching someone. Do you want to be algorithmically manipulated in order to stay longer? Or do you want to watch something that you care about? And if you like someone specifically, like the only way to grow is actually if your audience supports you. So they have to share your show, they have to comment, even if it's a meaningless comment. I'm checking in, I'm here, or whatever. Like all this stuff matters because that's the only way to grow. You can't beat the algorithm unless you kind of play their game a little bit. The only other option is your community has to support you.
Yeah, the share thing. That's why I bet every time. Again, you have a Mason symbol as your logo to get.
So I get trolled on this all the time. I don't know if you've ever seen our podcast logo. One of our, I'm going to say he is our Discord moderator, and he's also one of the moderators of the chat. We said we need a logo. This was like 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. We should get a logo. And him and his girlfriend said, "Oh yeah, we can design a logo." And they came up with an F and a T, and it's got some dots around it. And that's what it's supposed to be. And it was trying to be patriotic. So it's blue and red and white. And apparently, people are like, "Oh, that looks like a Masonic symbol. So like, what are you doing, Matt?" And I get this message every single time. And I get it so much that if I change it, then I totally like let them scare me into changing it. I don't want to do that because I ain't no bitch. I don't, if I don't change it, I got to deal with them asking what's up with my Masonic logo over and over again. Except it's the same people asking over and over again, meaning they're enjoying the show. They're still here. So I kind of appreciate the engagement. So yeah, it's a Masonic logo, like whatever. I don't know what to tell you. Do I look like a Mason? It's ridiculous.
Perhaps you need a cartoon logo of a Greek with a big nose, and and you can.
Well, it's even funnier because actually right behind me, I don't know if you could see it.
Kinda.
Elmo was trending on X the other day because the Elmo account, the @Elmo account, got hacked, and it went straight Nazi. And I turned around. And I'm looking around, I'm like, wait a second, where did this Elmo on my shelf come from? I don't normally have that there. It just showed up. I think my daughter came in my room and put Elmo on my shelf the other day.
I can't see that it's an Elmo, but I see there's a light, the light behind it.
Right next to the books. There's an Elmo sitting right there.
I see a figure, but it's kind of blurred out. But okay, and that picked up all your, that got you all the looks? Elmo?
Yeah. Well, people think I'm sus, so whatever.
Yeah, that's all good. It's all good. Again, you guys, when you guys show up for your show, do you plan on what you're going to talk about? Kind of like or you just kind of go for it? Like Peter comes in and it's just how often do you guys get together?
We get together about once a week for about hour and a half at a time. Maybe we'll do lunch after. And before we hit record, we sit down and say, "Hey, what are you thinking about this week?" And I'll say, "Oh, I've been thinking about this, this, this." He's like, "Well, I was thinking about this and this." Cool. Those are what we'll talk about. And we go. That's it.
Yeah, I get it. We're going to talk about stuff, but right away, and I'll get to Epstein files there. It's like, okay, yeah, I know. And we'll current events, man. You can't get away from current events. It's just, that's the problem. But stupid shit versus serious stuff. How do you touch on stupid stuff, like just for the laugh of it? Or
I guess it depends on what's stupid. For the long time, we thought talking about Diddy was stupid, and then it became a real thing when they let him go. Basically, we thought that making jokes about Epstein was stupid because everyone thought it was true, and we all knew it to be true. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh no, actually, Epstein's a good guy. You guys are stupid. You guys are bad. And we're like, wait a second. We were kidding because it was so obvious, but now they're telling us it's not true. And then it became really serious because them trying to memory hole Epstein is crazy. So I think sometimes what we think is stupid becomes serious because we see how they weaponize that, and maybe that's part of the plan, actually, to put something in your face so much that it becomes a joke. And then when it becomes a joke, they know they can get rid of it.
When I say stupid stuff, let me reiterate. I mean, like, here, I'll give you an example. This way I don't have to explain it, but here, check this out.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square.
Something like that.
That was like a European thing, right? I saw that. That was trending for a while.
Yeah, it's
like trying to figure out how to get immigrants in Europe to not rape the women or something. That's what it was, right?
I thought it was like a child's PSA or something. Years ago. I still have it in my playlist here. But I mean, just I would do that for fun, just so we could, when I had somebody with me and we talk about things like that. I mean, just a simple, stupid.
Can a bitch get a donut?
You know what I mean? Just do you guys are you like, we're sticking to the real life stuff, because again, your show is evolving as you go along. So I'm just curious. I wish I had as much time to put towards it, but I had to kind of flip through now and then just to check you out, since I been wanting to get you on the show, see where you're at.
Yeah, we don't really play clips, so that's the hard part, because when you play funny clips, it's a lot of reaction. We just pick 3 or 4 topics and we just talk about them, just like we would on at lunch or dinner, or if 2 guys were hanging out and having a conversation. So there's not a lot of prep for that. We tried to do this segment maybe about 6 months, maybe a year ago, where our producer Will would pick a few funny clips from the internet and we would put it at the end of the show and we just watch them and react to them. But playing other clips on YouTube, it gets to be such a hassle, because we're not thinking as far as, is this copyrighted? Are we going to get a strike for it? Are we going to get demonetized?
Yeah.
Like, it just became such a problem with them giving us a warning or removing content or removing entire videos, removing audio. They were like, dude, this is not worth it for the 5 minutes of laughs we get. I think at times our show is funny as is, so we don't want to do it. And me and Peter have been doing this show for 2 years now, and we're just in a groove. You could prompt us for 3 random topics on anything and we could talk about for an hour.
I get it. I don't even, not even necessarily, the reason I use video clips is because there's so much contradictive manipulation going on right now that people have forgotten very quickly. And everything from the deportation of, like, they think the orange man is he's such a bad man, so you have to show these videos of Clinton and of just to refresh. I'm trying to capture these people who are sitting on the fence to say, hey, they're making you think like it's this guy who's so bad, but these guys were doing the same damn thing and nobody said boo because it was never brought to your attention. Here, real quick, this one clip, I've always wanted to use it, never used it, because this guy to me has so many faces and I can't stand him. But he's right up the orange man's ass, but this is how he felt a few years ago.
Check out this video of Lindsey Graham crying and gushing over Joe Biden. It'll make your stomach turn.
If you can't admire Joe Biden as a person, then it's probably you got a problem. You need to do some self-evaluation, because what's not to like? And he's the nicest person I think I've ever met in politics.
Is that right?
He is as good a man as God ever created.
I'm just saying that there's stuff like that, and then you see him now, here and now, and it's like people need to be aware of, and again, don't just listen to me. It's on tape. When we used to record, when I was back in my record making days or recording days, the saying was, tape don't lie. If you made a mistake, rewind it. Let's listen. And that's why I use clips like this.
I think we have this assumption that we work with, is that I think we're really fortunate. We have a really well educated and informed audience, and our show isn't every day. So a lot of the people that watch our show have seen a lot of the clips, have heard the commentary from a lot of the other people, have watched maybe some of the mainstream channels, or have their favorite places that they go. And then they check us one week and we get to comment on what they've already thought about, which is why it makes it interesting, we believe. If we had to introduce from stop, maybe that's actually a different audience for us. But we really feel like our audience is extremely well informed. So if we make kind of a inside joke about Lindsey Graham, we don't have to explain the joke. They get it. If we say Lindsey Graham looks like a turtle, everyone's like, oh yeah, of course he does. We don't have to go through it. But I think that's why, again, we read the comments, because we really understand who we're working with and who we're talking with. And I think that's important.
It is important. But with me, people used to say, it's like, because, actually somebody on one of your on the comments says, Peter, do you have a Rumble account? Yes, I do have a Rumble account. But everybody on Rumble is in agreement with everybody, and so that's why I stick to my guns, trying to not get kicked off of YouTube, even though I'm always borderline, because I'm trying to reach that chosen few that's sitting on the fence that may not know something. Here's another one here. It's like, Peter, you have a weird, disagreeable energy. Who cares if Elmo is blurry? It's clearly there. I couldn't see that it was fucking Elmo, okay? I'm sorry.
Elmo was definitely there. I didn't put it there. My daughter put it there, and I'm really proud of her for it.
But the thing is, I cannot depict that it's. I can't see it, so that's why I happen to bring it up. But somebody had to take the time. Again, thank you, but I didn't know it was Elmo. If he could have told me it was freaking King Kong, and I'd believe him. That's why I was going. I can't see it. Sorry. It's all right. It's all good. It's like
brutal
I said,
out here today. Brutal.
You have. That's why I brought you on, and I told earlier on in the show. I said Matt has a way of saying the same exact thing I'm saying, but at a different tone and a different inflection, that you will love him and you will friggin' start breaking my balls. I'm okay with that. Once you get to know me, you'll understand. But at the beginning, you're quick to judge. Kick back, stick around a while. We're good. I don't care. Again, it's all good. Hurt no one. It's but sorry if I, pissed you off because I couldn't see Elmo. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Not sorry.
I really like Rumble. I like what they're doing. I like the idea of what they're doing. And it's great. But if you really want to win this game and you want an opportunity for longevity, you got to figure out how to win on YouTube. And that's just the sad truth of this, YouTube is where 90% of the world is. And Rumble has a lot of people, but it's not YouTube. It's never going to be YouTube. And maybe one day I can't get kicked off of YouTube and have no place to go, but that's typically what happens. But if you can figure out a way to navigate through YouTube, I mean, for reach, for availability, for audience, for global opportunity, we have people that watch from Australia, from Germany, from Finland, and I've received message from UK and South Africa and Panama and a lot of Canada. It's all over the world. You don't get that on just Rumble. Rumble's mostly American.
Yeah, I have good luck with BitChute. Do you ever post on? They treat me decently, but again, I thought the minute Trump got back in office that YouTube and Google would start lightening up, because I know that they were really helping out the whole other side, on canceling things. I got so many strikes for medical misinformation. They went through shows from 5 years ago and are pulling things down. I got a letter just again the other day telling me that they're throttling me down. They publicly telling me they're throttling me down because of my actions, whatever those are. I mean, basically what I'm doing right now. So how bad is that? And they just said, Peter,
now I'm going to get dinged for association, because that's how social credit systems work, is that now I'm guilty by association. So thanks, Peter. Appreciate it.
Okay, no problem. Just trying to help. But
appreciate that.
I think people say the same exact stuff, if not worse. And I'm watching it on YouTube, and I say something, and it's like we are giving you a warning. We just pulled down your show from 2022 for misinformation. In their opinion, misinformation. And they're just not letting me breathe. And just I know if I spend money with them, they'll start to love me. Look at the face you just made. Yeah, because it's the truth. But I just don't want to give in. I want them to be fair, but it's not going. I guess life isn't fair. It's just
YouTube isn't a fair platform. It is what it is. We're at this point in life where you just have to accept it as it is, and you can try to beat the system, but you just have to find other ways to do it. I'm totally okay with the fact that if I start to trend, they're going to lock me down, and then we just have to start all over again. And that's just a game that we play. But what we do know is that the people that watch every week, they come back every week no matter what, because they know if they look for me and 1 week later, I'm going to be there, and they look for me, they find me, they watch the show, they engage with the show. They know that if they leave a comment, that it's going to help me, and they do it to help me, not to help themselves, which is amazing, actually. Yeah. And, that's all I can ask for.
I get it, but some people you can please, some people you can't please. I'll make another, here you go. This Mr. Scream, I'm definitely on his shit list, and in fact,
Mr. Scream,
Mr. Scream, What can I say? Again, one thing I've definitely learned is you can't please everyone. And I don't try, and I don't give a fuck. I got no reason to not like Mr. Scream, but he's not giving me any, he's really just like nitpicking over here. And it's cool. I'm totally good with that. I can take it. I got thick ass skin. But since we got comments, I just thought I'd play them, And look, he's going to go back. I'll go back to Matt's channel. See you. It's like, well, yeah, that you obviously are friends with Matt. I don't have a gripe with Mr. Scream. I just bringing it out.
I love Mr. Scream.
Good. We could probably have beers together. But the thing is, right now, he loves you, you love him, and I'm the outsider, and he don't know me, and so it's like, let's break Peter's balls. Which again, I wear a titanium freaking cup when I show up because because I know that you can't make everybody happy. You can't. There's people that love you and people that like, hey, Matt's my guy. You're just you, whoever the hell you are with the Greek. It is what it is. Now I gotta. There we are. But anyway, sorry, Mr. Scream. Just maybe if you didn't scream so much, take a pill. Just chill. We're just all here to go. I want to ask you. Oh, look, I gotta leave. Okay. 2 minutes. I gotta quit reading those. But they're funny. I saw you with Peter on your show, and I don't want you to have to really speak for him, but somehow or another, Bill Gates' name got picked up, came into the conversation, and I heard him say, "Yeah, he's a great guy." Now, I couldn't stay long, but was that sarcastic, or does he really?
For sure, sarcastic. There is no love for Bill Gates on our show.
Okay.
Yeah. From him, putting out disease-ridden mosquitoes to passing out AIDS to trying to develop a way to monitor people's bodies and temperatures through chips and your brain and having patent 666 and all the shit.
Yeah,
we are not fans of Bill Gates.
Yeah, okay.
And that's outside of the kid stuff that he does.
He just seemed real relaxed when he said that, and then you guys moved on. And you didn't really talk about him. Going, he can't really mean that because there's just no way. Now, I know better, and you know better, but it never got answered. He just said, "Yeah, he's a great guy," and it was just not. I didn't see the sarcasm, but it was just so calm and smooth. And I'm going, you need to go a little deeper because that guy, I just feel like is one of the most evilest of evil that for a nerd. How did he end up this way?
If people clipped us at the wrong time, things would sound very different and people would get the wrong idea of who we are. Because we're maybe sometimes overly sarcastic, especially in serious topics. But I think that's the way that we kind of deal with it. The fact that it's how we deal with the anger of some of the topics that we run into in the daytime. For example, I think yesterday or the other day we recorded, and Peter gave like a really heartfelt apology to Jeffrey Epstein because he wanted to apologize because for the last 15 years, he called him a bad guy. And apparently the Trump administration says that Epstein is a good guy. So we were wrong. He was right. His name should be redeemed. And we felt it was important to apologize to Jeffrey Epstein because we dragged his name through the mud for 15 years. And
made him kill himself.
The whole thing was a hoax. So we got to apologize. When you're wrong, man up, and we did that the other day.
This is what bullying does. Look what you guys did to him. He here, wait, I got to do this one too. I said, "Love you, Peter. You helped the Great Awakening." See, now there's somebody from your end that's like very understanding. And it's like, yeah, there you go. There you go. There's really, you just have to hang out a little bit and get a feel. I tell you, Matt and I are like different sides of the planet, but we all have one common goal, and we just have a different approach at it, and some days are better than others with me, it just depends on how things are going, but the goal is still there, and the intent, let's can we talk, because
Yeah, whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, well, that's
it's going off the rails today, so you can have whatever you want.
I planned it this way. I really wanted to go all over the map with you because I feel you're that versatile, But the thing is, as well talked over as this is, it is pretty mind baffling. I want to stick with the Epstein thing because I kind of got really blown out of the water when all of a sudden everything I felt we were fighting for just took a turn to where they go, "Don't worry about it." And it really kind of hurt. I go, this is going to make us look bad after all we fought for and all the good that's going on in other areas. I go, can the deep be that deep that they're making the Orange Man bow? Or is this another plot to pin them and eliminate them in a different way? I'm really at the point where this is confusing.
I saw that post he put out today, and basically said, if you're still thinking about Epstein, you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he basically said, and not only that, he said, don't support me. I don't want you to support me anymore. Because if you're still thinking about this hoax, and he called it a hoax, and he tried to tie it to the Russia hoax, he tried to tie it to the election hoax, he tried to tie it to like all the hoaxes that we thought were hoaxes, he put that in the same category as those. And instead of making me think, oh, Epstein is a hoax, now I'm thinking, man, were all those other shit that he said were hoaxes, were those bullshit too? Because in my mind, the Jeffrey Epstein thing is real. There's nothing you can do, and I think majority of the country, there's nothing you can say or do to convince us otherwise. It's not just us that were thinking about it. It's people with the administrations that was thinking about it. It's people that are high up in the administration. And they're like, oh no, like we just finally reviewed the documents and we found out that there was nothing nefarious going on. I'm like, that's bullshit, because you guys had an opportunity to look at it the last administration. You didn't say that then. You had 4 years between administrations to say there's nothing there. You didn't say that then. You used it to get elected. And then now, all of a sudden, the day before you meet Bibi Netanyahu, you're like, oh, Epstein's a joke. Like, no way. No, that doesn't fly. So I don't care what they say. I don't care what they do. I don't care what proof they put. Like, I don't know if I'm going to let this one go. And I've talked about this topic of memory hole. It's this idea that they take news and they force you to forget things ever happened. And it's a psychological tactic that they use to change history, to rewrite history. And it's bold. It's a bold attempt at that. And I don't think a lot of people are going to be okay with that, because I'm pissed. I think a lot of people are pissed, and we joke about it because it's so ridiculous on how offensive it is. Anyone, especially if you're part of administration, and if you're going to say you're the bad guy because you believe this when you were the ones that were perpetuating this lie, fuck you guys. Seriously.
This is why I have this problem, because not only do I have some of these people who hate the Orange Man anyway, and I say the Orange Man a lot, I don't mean it in disrespect, but that's how they call him, and that it's more, otherwise I'd say Trump 20 million times, and that really gets me knocked down. So I get these people immediately going, see, I was right. He's on the list. That's why he's covering his own tracks. And today I saw something, I'm sure they chipped in billions and billions of dollars to give to the Orange Man to shut him up. And I don't buy that for a second, because I just truly do believe he doesn't need their money, but something is really heavy for him to just back down off of this whole thing, to where it even, intimidated him, I feel. Because he didn't even sound like he was talking with confidence when he's saying, are you still on the Epstein thing? He felt real phony when he said that to me, at least the way I saw it.
Look, if Trump was supposed to go in there and remove said deep state, and the first opportunity he has to expose them is to comply with them, dude, he's not going to do shit. It's just the reality of it, because we were promised certain things, not only him, but his attorney general, his FBI director. They put it in our face. His son, his family, every single political correspondent and pundit and talking head, they all said, we're going to get the Epstein list. This is a thing. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're like, it's not a thing. You're a bad guy. No, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. There's no explanation for it. And what if they're blackmailing? So what? What do you have that's so bad that you can be blackmailed with? And if you can be blackmailed, you've already been compromised. Because if you can be blackmailed now, you always have been able to be blackmailed. I mean, if you think that he's being blackmailed now, he's always been blackmailed.
Well, that's the thing, but
he didn't all of a sudden do something wrong at 75 years old after becoming president, and now something brand new comes out. Whatever that blackmail is, that's always been there.
Don't you think if they were going to blackmail him, or take him out because he was on the list, they would have done it so he wouldn't have won the presidency? They tried everything else, even trying to kill him. I mean, they did everything. They came up with phony arrests, everything. I mean, if they were so scared of him winning, don't you think they would have pulled that out of their dirty tricks book too, and and use it against him so he wouldn't have been president?
I mean, I've been thinking about this. I think about this all the time. What is actually the role of a president? What does a president actually do?
Yeah. Well,
what are they supposed to do? If you put me down and said, Matt, tell me what the president actually does, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Do you know? Are they actually an executive? Are they actually making plans? Are they actually drafting documents? Are they actually deciding policy? Or are they just amalgamating from different people and they're just saying, okay, let's do this, and they don't actually have the power to do it? So, like, what do they actually do? What does the president do? I don't know.
I think he gives the approval on things, but that's why I say that a lot of times he's led down a bad road. He says yes or no to whatever they're putting in front of him. They're giving him war. These warmongers that you got people that you're supposed to trust. They're supposed to be the professionals, and they give him intel. Is it real intel, or is it they trying to provoke him into feeling like, hey, we need to do this? Who do you trust? We're still having these issues because they.
So if you're a decision maker and you're in charge of putting the people around you to give you proper information to make that decision, and you're getting bad information, whose fault is that?
He doesn't know he's getting bad information.
I mean, that's his job.
I know, but he knows a lot of things, but I truly do believe you can't know everything. And that's why you have those, what do they call those? They're all out there, not ambassadors, but they're supposed to be, that's their job to, get information, report to me, tell me what's going on, and we go from there.
But if your advisors are based on how helpful they were during a political campaign, are you actually hiring the best people?
Oh, he got rid of a lot of people, and he admitted his first term that he was, he didn't know a whole lot about this and was getting referrals. They're going, you need to trust this guy and this guy. And he did. And he goes, I'll never do that again. But I'm pretty sure that in his circle, he still probably got some bad apples. There's people that are there to help him screw up. No doubt. I mean, it's hard enough.
I think when Trump first got elected the first time around, and he said, I couldn't be as effective as I wanted to be because there were a lot of bad people around me and I didn't know. It took me time to figure that out. Fine, fair, pass. If it happens the second time, that's no longer a valid excuse. You have to take ownership. This is not a learn on the job type of position. You have to have known what you were doing before you got in there. And he used that excuse once. You can't use that excuse twice. I refuse to give him a pass on that, actually.
I don't think he's ever used that.
We have to hold him accountable. And I was a huge Trump supporter. But it's really upsetting that he's using the same excuse he used the first time around. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't think a lot of people do.
I use the excuse for him. I'd never heard him actually say that again. I mean, I truly believe he's trying to surround himself with as many loyal people as he can. But
loyalty is not competency. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You need loyal people, but you also need competent people. Ideally, if you're a good leader, you have loyal, competent people. And for some reason, we're in a place where it's one or the other. And that's a huge problem because we're talking about running the entire country, United States of America. And the leaders are based on one of the two qualities that you need, not both. We need both qualities.
No, I look, I'm totally with you. I think I truly believe his intentions are good. I mean, but draining the swamp and all this is getting to be a lot harder. Example, Elon comes in with Doge. I think people were freaking out that they were doing so much so quickly, but even Elon said the wheels of justice are roll very slowly. Because people online, and I go by what people say. They go, well, if this is all true, then why aren't people getting arrested? It's not that simple. You can't just say, hey, we found this and you're going. There's a whole process to getting there. I truly believe they want to get there, but it's like, what's taking you so long? It's, Trump can't do everything.
But that's the problem, is that they promised us that Doge is going to come around and Doge, everyone, first, January, February, March, Doge. Everyone, Doge. We're going to cut $1 trillion. We're going to cut $2 trillion. They cut, $8 billion over 10 years? It's a joke. It's a huge waste of time. They actually spent more time. They spent more money trying to propagate the importance of Doge than they actually saved in Doge. This is a problem because they said we're going to cut $2 trillion. They spent $10 billion to get their message out there to convince you that Doge is the best thing ever. And then they saved $8 billion over 10 years. What did they do? It's all theater. And that's a problem. Like, why can't we? What's wrong with holding them accountable to the? I didn't say, Elon, you better save $2 trillion. Nobody actually said that. He said that. Trump said that. We, the people, did not say, if you do Doge, you have to cut a certain amount. They offered that number. We didn't offer that. Then why is it our fault for holding them accountable to that number? Why do we give them a pass? Because they said, oh, but yeah, a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of bureaucracy. You get the president of the United States, your second go around, and you have one of the richest men in the world, if not the richest man in the world. You couldn't figure that out? You didn't know that before you said that? And if you didn't know that before you said it, you are not qualified to be speaking in public because their words matter.
Brad says, Trump is part of the whole. I mean, I get this whole thing, but what if we let the other side? I mean, I always say you got to pick the best of the better of both evils. I mean, where do you go? How do you make it? Can you imagine if Kamala was our president? I mean, we were already on the one step over the cliff.
That's the most common thing people say when you are critical of Trump is that, but what if Kamala won? And what if the other side won as an excuse is not a standard to hold people accountable to. He's the president of the United States, and a lot of people voted for him, and we were given a lot of promises. Holding him accountable to those promises that he made is our responsibility, if not, it's our duty. And to say, well, at least it's better than the other side, that doesn't make anyone feel better. What it should be is, he did exactly what he said. I mean, what happened to the mass deportations? There's no mass deportation. It's deportation theater. They take one family, they put on the news, like, oh yeah, they were a bad guy, and it's like 100 people. What happened to that? There's no accountability for that. We just wrote a bunch of money to ICE and Palantir in order to give them authority to do all this deportation. They've done nothing. They brought Tom Homan, like, oh, this guy's viral online, so we're going to bring him involved. They didn't do anything. They're deporting less people than Biden did. And why can't we just say that out loud? Why can't the commentators say that out loud? Why can't Congress say that out loud? Because these are facts. And that's why people are feeling like they're being lied to. Because some things are clearly true. And the people that are in leadership and have positions of power refuse to acknowledge them. How can you solve anything if we don't actually ever acknowledge the problem?
I admit he's made a lot of promises. I think he's doing a lot of things, but this whole Epstein thing just felt so phony though, this recently. And it doesn't, they have to know that how damaging it is to what he just did or what they just did. It just doesn't feel good. I mean, they're not stupid. How are they going to get around this to make it better? I don't know. I felt bad. I felt embarrassed.
They did it first a couple of months ago during the JFK files. They said, we're going to release all the JFK files and you're going to know exactly what happened. And we're going to, Anna Paula Luna, or whatever her name is going to go to the site and figure out exactly what went on. Like, really? You're going to go to the site 7 years after the fact and then you're going to find out what's going on? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, that is just pure theatrics. And they're like, just kidding. We don't have anything for you. And everybody forgot. And maybe when they saw that happen and they saw that tactic worked, they're like, I think we're in a really good spot. I think they believe us on our bullshit right now. Let's try the Epstein thing. And people are like, no, you could try the JFK thing because we already know who it was. But this Epstein thing, it's not going to happen. You can't do that twice.
But that's the thing. It's like, it's so obvious, like they're not going to buy this crap. And they did it anyway. And I'm thinking,
they did it with they did it with the jab. There's no accountability. They never apologize, right?
No, they scared the shit out of everybody.
Trump is so happy to be, the king of Operation Warp Speed. It's like a badge on his shoulder of something, one of the most proudest moments of his life. I think we all agree that's not a good idea. And then Trump gets inaugurated, and he's like, "Hey, here's Larry Ellison, and we are going to roll out AI-driven mRNA vaccines." And everyone's like, oh, yeah. And everyone clapped. Like, that's a good thing? Do you not remember? We don't like that. And then RFK comes out. It's like, hey, do you know what? We decided that we're gonna make 6 months old the full FDA approval so that 6-month-old kids can get that jab. And we're like, what the hell is going on? This is not what we were promised. And I think people have every right to be upset about that because, again, I was really hopeful of Trump. But to say that he has shifted and turned 180 degrees on some of the things that he promised that we cared about, it's just true.
again, I'm still going to have faith that this thing will turn around. I just don't. It's so stupid that I just, that's why I'm having a hard time with it. It's just, this was it's one of those, what the fuck were you thinking when you thought you're going to just think that nobody's going to care about this? That's what bothers me.
The problem I have right now is because we have a lot of these MAGA influencers that kind of dictate the conversation. And they have become MAGA, meaning make America great again, to becoming make Trump great again. And that is not what the movement was about.
No.
The movement was about the people. The movement was about people that were feeling disenfranchised by the system, about people that were feeling left out, people that wanted better for the country as a whole, wanted America first, that just wanted some fundamental change for the betterment of the people. And somehow the whole entire thing has been, what can we do and say to make sure that everything Trump says we believe? That was not the point of this entire MAGA movement. And when you could say, well, Trump started, fine. That's not what people were signing up for. When you went to a Trump rally, people were really excited to see Trump there. People are more excited to be a part of the people and what's going on the floor. That's just the reality.
The idea, it's like, that's why I get really pissed off when they go, you MAGAs. It's like, what's so wrong about saying make America great again? It's like, why wouldn't you want to make America great and keep America great? That's what it bugs me. These haters, I mean, they just hate. But I don't know, man. I'm it's very disappointing. It was a very shitty week hearing this crap, and then they just kind of make like no big deal. It's like, it is a big deal. It's a real big deal. And for the thing of when you mentioned the jab in the beginning, when he did his Operation Warp Speed, that to me, that was a prime example of him being told by people who are medically, superior, telling him that what's going on, and he's going, okay, great.
But now we're finding out that's not true. He just believes in it. And the only way, and because he was doubling down on the jab, the only way for him to get over that hump, because there's a lot of people in America that have not forgiven him for that, but willing to look the other way for the sake of the election, because, like you said, the alternative was Kamala. Okay, we'll roll with Trump because the alternative is Kamala, and although he did the whole jab thing, we'll let that slide for the time being for the greater good. And in order to achieve that, he needed RFK. And as soon as RFK goes, he's like, oh, yeah, I love mRNAs. I love vaccines. We're like, what? That's not why we approved of you, RFK, by the way.
Yeah.
We need to keep people accountable for what they say. I'm sick of politicians, especially at the presidential level, saying whatever we want to hear just for the point of being elected, because we're literally voting for showmen. They need to have some sort of policy promise and keep them. That has to be what do we even go through another election for if none of the election promises matter? This is actually a fundamental problem, because the next election, it's probably going to be maybe JD, who's going to do the same thing that Trump did, tell us a bunch of shit that we just want to hear just for the sake of saying it, because that's supposed to be our side. And the other side is going to be Gavin Newsom, and he's phenomenal at telling you exactly what you want to hear and saying it in a way that makes him believable. He's really good at that, by the way. And we're going to have two presidential candidates that have zero belief in any of the core values that we care about, and they're going to go to town, and the political machine is going to become this $1 trillion industry, and we have to go through it, and then people are pissed off all over again. I'm like sick of it. Aren't you? Aren't you sick of it?
Let me tell you something. Before the show rolled up this evening, I was watching on one of the monitors a press conference with Gavin Newsom in California. And he was lying. Every word that came out of his mouth was just, because I live in California. I mean, I've seen the destruction. He's just ruined California. He's now burned everybody out of Pacific Palisades, and they're getting ready. He just spent $101 million, and they're approving low-income housing in Pacific Palisades for these people who got burned out of their properties that are not getting permits to rebuild. He's the most slitheriest snake, and I say something on a comment somewhere, and people will go, what do you mean? Because he looks like he's decent. His hair, he's got good hair, and he's lying with confidence, and he's the biggest piece of shit out there. That's scary, because people are going to buy into his bullshit big time.
I think Gavin has a huge chance to win in the next election, because whoever he's going up against, he's got a huge head start. He's already started campaigning last year. right? You've seen it there. He was at the presidential debates. He was on Fox News. He was doing the commentary. What's Fox News doing, by the way? Letting Gavin Newsom do the commentary on debates. They've given him all the press, all the screen time. He has his own podcast. A lot of big podcasts are having him on. He's done a podcast with Charlie Kirk. He's done a podcast with Sean Ryan, right?
Yeah.
Like Gavin Newsom is everywhere, and he speaks really well. He's relatively pretty good-looking guy. He's actually likable if you take away the real sliminess about him.
He lies about everything, Matt. I mean, not a single thing comes out of his mouth. That's the truth.
Will California give their votes, their Democratic presidential votes, to Gavin Newsom?
Of course they will.
He's gonna no matter what. Great. Will New York give him their votes?
Again, the party's going to go down with the ship for the party, no matter if it's an inchworm. They're going to vote for the inchworm.
So he actually only needs to win 2 or 3 states.
Yeah, it's just, but it's so sad because again,
he's going to win the states that he's going to win no matter what. So he's actually worked. He has 4 years to win 3 states. Can you do it? I don't know. Can someone challenge him and give him a run for his money? Probably. Who that is? I don't know. Maybe Tucker Carlson. I think he can. But I don't see anyone else.
It was bad enough. Watching Biden, who was incompetent and nobody knew it, watching him lie confidently, even when he didn't have it together, and then now you got Newsom, who can confidently lie about every single thing, and you're going to get tons of people who really don't know the man because they don't live in California. They don't know how he's destroying everything. Gas just went up 60 cents a gallon, 61 cents a gallon, July 1st, because of environmental California air, natural resources. They're lining their pockets. You know, they closed down an oil refinery in Long Beach. This is going to be on a couple of weeks from now show because I'm just sick of it. People just need to know he's destroying stuff. They're homeless. They spent billions, no help. He'll tell you that they're doing all kinds of things, but the proof is in the pudding. It's like, show me, don't tell me. Karen Bass, the LA, we didn't need the National Guard. That's what he was bitching about, that, you know, Trump incited all those riots by bringing in police because they were burning the fucking place down. You know, they're still sticking to that whole theme.
He's going to win the D states. I mean, that's just a thing, right? We know that to be true. He has 4 years to win 3 states. And you got to stop letting these independent or conservative or whatever podcasters and news people that have access to audience in the middle and the right, you got to stop platforming him, because some people are going to think he's slobbing, he's lying. There are other people that are going to be like, dude, I kind of like him. And he's just picking people off one at a time.
Yeah.
It's a very well thought out plan. It's actually really dangerous. And you cannot let him win, by the way. But the trajectory is that he's doing everything right. If I were him, I would run my campaign exactly like him. I would do exactly what he's doing right now.
Yeah, he can't tell any truth. I mean, he copped on a couple of things as, I was stupid, I did this and that. But
yeah, but the internet doesn't remember if you lied or not.
No,
they just know that you were there.
They just
know that you were there.
Yeah,
and they just know that you were with certain people, and you get influenced by association. And he's playing that game. He knows exactly what he's doing, and we're propping him up. And people on our side are propping him up, and this is a big problem.
Every time I do, because I pulled up a picture of, I said this is California's 6 biggest problems, and it was a picture of Gavin Newsom, Adam Schiff, you know, it was like all of them, and you know, all these troublemakers over there. And then I get the comments, they go, well, you voted for him, or you know, it's like, no, we didn't. You know, California is got a lot of red. It's just a couple of major cities that are blue, which baffles me about how the hell they're winning, because majority of California is red. I mean, I don't. So I'm always skeptical. I'm going, there's nothing is legit anymore. There's just even whoever we get in the future, no matter who it is, who's going to be able to stop this machine? It's just impossible.
In places like California, New York, a couple of cities decide the entire election for the state, right?
Yeah, sadly.
Okay. Then why aren't the Republicans and conservatives right now, today, knowing that there's an election in 4 years, helping out and being in those communities?
How?
Why don't they? Because they don't fucking care. This is a problem. Because if they actually wanted to win in 4 years and they wanted to win California, then they would be spending time in LA. LA is not 80% Democrat. It's like 60% Democrat. Why are they not there trying to flip to 10%? Why don't they?
I think that
it's a real question. Why don't they?
I know, but
they could.
Easier than done. I don't know. I mean, I remember when they were pissed off with Gavin Newsom. I was going into Walmart, and there was a guy at a table. They wanted to get rid of him. What do you call it? Holy crap!
Yeah, they wanted to get rid of him, but no one did.
And so they got the signatures to try to get him out, and it didn't.
And that
work.
That was it.
I know, but I mean,
Republicans didn't even show up. But
no,
there was momentum.
Something's going on.
But there was momentum there. Why are people not in those communities right now?
Recall them.
Yeah.
You know.
Again, I understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. If they really cared, they'd be working. Gavin Newsom has been campaigning for a year. If they want to beat him, why are they not campaigning now? Start winning over people who live in, especially if they went after, I don't know, the Hispanic neighborhoods of LA. They're actually really conservative in nature. They believe in God. They believe in family. They believe in hard work.
Regular life.
Why are we not spending a ton of money trying to win them over right now?
I can't answer.
Why do they send like one Mexican rapper to that neighborhood 1 month before the election, and that's their plan? Like, how is that a solution? Why aren't they winning them over now? I don't understand. Actually, I don't. Maybe you have a solution for that, but if they were serious, they'd be talking about that and they're working that right now. I'm so sick of politicians doing it at the finish line, trying to make theatrical moves, thinking that affects change. And the reality of life is that real change takes time, and no one wants to do the hard work. And this is a problem that we have with politics, is that the political leaders refuse to selflessly sacrifice for the better of society. That's why we're in the shit that we are, is because they refuse to do the work. They refuse to care. They only care about narrative at the moment, at that time, and they only care about elections.
Yeah. About themselves. They're lining their pockets. They've gotten so rich over these past few decades. I mean, just lining their pockets and just then, aging out. And in fact, you can't even get them to age out. It's ridiculous. But I look, I don't like that. I hate this whole party system. I don't know. I don't care. To me, again, you pick your poison, but I don't know what the solution is. I just don't understand it. And I'm just scared to death that, they don't care about this world or our country either. And so long as they line their pockets, and then we're stuck with the whole deal. That's why I had a little faith in Trump. I figured he was so wealthy and his egotistical that he wanted to go down in history as like a George Washington, or, you know what I mean? I thought that was more important to him than, the whole alternatives, but something has got a grip on him. I don't know what it is, but
I think he does. I think he wants to go down in history as the greatest president ever. And because of that, in order to do it in a very short period of time, he's only going for home runs and grand slams. But to win a baseball game, you need to go and take singles. You need to force walks. You have to steal bases. You have to do the little things in a game to win. He only wants to hit home runs. And this is the problem that there is, because you have to sacrifice bunt. You have to make small sacrifices for the greater good of everybody. But he's going up the plate. He's only swinging for the fence, thinking that if he hits just enough home runs, he can win this. And I don't think life works that way. I think life is a collection of small wins over time. And if you keep on getting small wins, you eventually get a big win. I think that's how it's supposed to be. And I think the problem is that he's only going for big wins. And I think that's the fundamental different approach to, I think, he handles business, to handles life, to handles leadership. And I really want him to succeed. I do. But I think there has to be a shift in how he goes about it. But who am I? I'm nobody. This is what I would do.
I get it. We're all, making the assumption. Even, again, I follow Facebook. I feed off of Facebook because people tell you what they ate, who's having surgery, prayers for my mama, Trump sucks, this sucks. And so I'm trying to get a gauge of what people are thinking for the whole deal. But yeah, we're Monday morning quarterbacking again. That's why I did a show a few weeks ago, and it was knowing when to shut the fuck up, because people just jump to conclusions the minute the news puts out that 15-minute narrative that they all start parroting. People jump onto Facebook to say, "See, I told you so. He sucks, and he's on the list." It's like, take a breath and shut the fuck up. because 2 days from now, something else is going to happen. Let's go to, he bombed the nuclear sites when everybody was jumping and saying, we just got into World War III, and then nothing happened. What's your take with, I mean, do you think he made, that was a ballsy ass move, and I don't think he did it with Israel's, best intent.
As far as I've seen, every single person within the U.S. intelligence agency that has any knowledge of this said there was actually no enriched uranium there. The only person that has said there's enriched uranium there is Netanyahu. Okay, so then who are we believing? Are we believing the world leader of the same person that told us that the Arabs took down 9/11? Oh, that's the person that we're going to believe? Or do we believe our own intelligence community? And if we don't believe our own intelligence community and we're going to defer to the leader of the same person that said 9/11 was done by them, then what do we have our intelligence community for? And by the way, didn't Trump say he's going to come in and dismantle the FBI? What happened to that?
Define dismantle. I mean, he got rid of a lot of people, but still, I'm not seeing much. I think there's still a ways to go. Again, those files that were from Epstein were in New York at an FBI location that have been there for 5 years with the worst of the FBI covering up the whole damn thing. It's like, again, there's so many things that need flushing. I kind of understand, but it's like, shit, man. And I know the man don't sleep very much. I'll give him credit for that.
If your goal is to clean up first. You don't do all these other things, start all these programs, start all these initiatives, still like you're doing all this great for the country, but you don't clean up first. You actually don't want to clean up. Are you cleaning up or are you building? You can't build until you clean up. So which one is it? You have to decide. So he's clearly not decided to clean up and he's decided to build. We all know that he's building new programs, new things. He wants to build a Golden Dome. He wants to build the new Gaza Strip, hotels, communities, and condos. He wants to build all these programs. He wants to build out AI. He wants to build out cryptocurrency. He wants to build all these data centers. Great. That just means that you have no intent on going back and cleaning up because you can't rebuild until you break down and clean up first. So it's logically not possible to do both at the same time. So which one is it? He'd rather hit the home run than do the hard work, which is you got to clean your room before you put new furniture. And that's just all I'm saying. I want him to do the things that he's doing, but I don't think it's actually possible to be done until you clean house first. If he started and spent the first 90 days of cleaning house and, people were being removed and they were doing the things that they said they were going to do, like all these things Doge promised, which I knew they wouldn't do, but even if they did them, and he said, we're going to do all these new things now. We're like, okay, that makes sense.
Quick little break. My giant Jew nose is actually Greek. Also, Trump is awesome. Trump, trust the government. Peter G. Oh, man. There we go. If you want attention, Pete Quicksilver, you're getting it. How's that? You definitely, I guess we're going to be besties. Besties. Look, I always said that he ruffled a lot of feathers, even the first time around. I mean, you're Carl Schwab and the Klaus Schwab and what's his face, the other, all the evil, Dr. Evil's over there with the New World Order and World Health Organization, all those people. He really is pissing them off, and there's a lot of strong people that we don't even know. And I figured, yeah, they're letting him screw things up, but there's a limit. And I don't even know how strong Trump can be. I mean, I don't know how he can get up and even.
I refuse to accept that as an excuse. Meaning, I don't know if Trump can actually remove the deep state, or I don't think he has the power to do things, or maybe he's being blackmailed. I refuse to accept that. Because if that's true, then why do we vote him in?
No,
we voted him in because he said he was a guy to break all the stuff down. He said that, not us. He said it, and we trusted him, and we believed in him. If you ask anybody, what's the number one thing we want you to do right now? It's remove the deep state, get back to a fair government. If you're not going to do that, what are you doing? No one cares about more wars. We don't want to go into more wars. But why are we still funding Ukraine? Why are we still funding Israel? We don't want to do that.
Look, again, the lies upon lies. It's deep and deeper than we even know. Are you reading those?
Yeah, I know.
I'm telling you, what we should do is we'll just read all the comments and just sit here and comment on the comments, and that'd be entertaining enough, I think, because there's some witty ones in here, and some very nice ones, and some not so nice ones, but they're actually all good. I wouldn't want to be in his. I don't know. To me, he's going to end up, unfortunately, being eliminated because of his actions. And
I don't think so.
You don't?
I don't think so. No. Like what has he done extreme that anyone would want to remove him? Actually, if I was deep state, or if I was a deep state, I have no incentive to remove Trump. Like, why? He's not coming after me.
He's
not removing my people. Why is he a threat? What
Well,
is there other than him saying he's a threat? What is there to prove that he's a threat to you? If you're the deep state, what do you fear right now? Nothing. If you're the deep state and you work with the pharmaceutical companies, you're good. If you're a deep state and you're working with the technology companies, you're good. If you're a deep state and you launder your money through cryptocurrency, you're good. What are they fearing? Deep state fears nothing right now. They've never been happier in their lives.
I thought he'd give more of a run for their money than anybody else. I mean,
I thought so too.
And I still, I don't know. I would have a backup plan in case something happened. Well,
it doesn't make any logical sense for him to be removed. If I am the deep state, I'm really happy with the outcome right now. I'm rich. I have all my people in power, and all the plays I've been spending the last 8 years on, they're all coming to fruition. What am I worried about if I'm the deep state?
Would it have been safe to say that had Kamala been the puppet for them, they'd be a lot happier?
I don't know. Okay, I'm not saying one is more evil than the other, but let me give you a quick analogy. Would you rather have incompetent evil or competent evil?
Oh, wait, I got another love letter. This old man has the brain capacity of a third grader. I wonder who he's talking about.
Me. I'm the old man here.
Fuckers. Maybe so, but I'm the fucking smartest kid in the dumb row. Let's put it that way. It's all good.
I think that if I am the deep state, I'm extremely happy right now.
Again, it's beyond you or me or anybody else.
I mean, what is the fear of deep state and new world order? Right? Surveillance, mass surveillance. Well, we're doing that. What's the other goal of the deep state? To build social credit systems. We're doing that. What's the other point of the deep state? In order to go into a one world government, well, we're kind of doing that. What's the other thing that a deep state, what we fear of the deep state? Pretty much everything that we fear is actually happening. And the only difference is that the guy that's supposed to be protecting us and breaking it all down is actually, I don't know, either allowing it or I want to say more than allowing it.
Look, or what's his name, Wells, with the 1984 thing. I think their intent really is to break us down to where we're all so far. I mean, thank God we're not all dependent on that. I mean, I know a lot of people that go, "What's wrong with the government? Taking care of us?" And I'm going, where do I begin? But I think that's the goal. That's the total goal. But so far, we've managed to maintain. It's not a total takedown. The attempt has been made. It's there and still alive. But I think it's at bay. I don't know. I mean, you have your own business, correct? You want to keep your own business? I mean, I do. And I don't want them taking that away and then being reliant on what they say I can and will do or need to do, because otherwise I won't have anything to be able to take care of myself. Total control.
The problem is clarity, right? So what kind of government are we? What kind of economic system are we? Are we capitalist? No, not really. Kind of. Like we're a gradient of capitalist, but we're not truly capitalist, because capitalist assumes it's a fair trade, fair society, everyone plays by the same set of rules. We know that's not true. There are different rules for different people. That's a fact. So then we're a gradient of capitalist. So we don't actually know what capitalism looks like, but we're told that we are. We say that we're a democracy, but we're not really a democracy. We don't vote on everything. We don't vote for everything. Everyone's vote actually doesn't matter. That's true too. So we're not truly a democracy, but we criticize other governments and other societies for not being democracies when we ourselves are not a democracy. So what are we? We don't even know what we are. So how do you solve that when you can't even define what we are? I think there's a problem. I think we're supposed to be a country of fairness, that we're supposed to promote some of the values that we consider to be American. And I think we're supposed to be leaders in a way that we lead by example, because that's what it was supposed to be. America was supposed to be, what is it? The house on the hill, right? That all the other countries look up to. No one's looking up to us right now. We've come very far from what our fundamental goals have been. And we need a president and we need leadership that gets us back, because that's what it means to be conservative, to want things a certain way that it used to be, to conserve our values, conserve our way of life. And everything that we're doing now is going away from the idea of conservatism.
That's a big, tall order, because everybody thought that this guy was going to not give a shit because he's lived his life. He's got more money than anybody could ever need, and he was going to straighten stuff out. It's like, where do we go from here? With who? I mean, with who? How? Obviously it's not me, because Clown Alphabet, or whatever the hell his name is, Transjester, his Judar smells my BS. It's like, that's not BS. It's like, what do you believe in? I don't know what to tell you. It's like, we're just out here talking. You're more than welcome to talk. Come on in. The water's warm. All right, but it's like, who's going to take that step? It's like, yeah, we can talk about it. And people are like, well, why don't you do something about it? It's like, well, I'm trying to spread the word, and somebody said Peter should have a comedy show or this and that. Yeah, because I don't do politics every day. I try to do it maybe once a month out of the 4 or 5 shows a month that we do every week. But it's serious stuff going on, because it concerns your family, my family, and everybody. And I care about everybody. I just do. But what do you do? I mean, you can't do it by yourself.
No, I think I think everyone contributes in their own way. If you're a talking head on the internet, hold people accountable. Don't give people passes because you like someone. I liked Trump. I did. I think a lot of people know that. But he's the president. He's not the guy I'm trying to vote for. He's not the guy I'm hoping that wins. He's the actual president. The role is different. The level of accountability has to be equal to the level of responsibility that he has. And he is a president of the United States. There are a lot of people looking up to him. If he's not performing, we can't just be like, oh, Trump's the best, Trump's the best, Trump's the best. It doesn't help anyone to do that. We talk, and okay, the people on the right, conservatives, they were so mad for years about giving people on the left giving out and promoting participation trophies. Oh yeah, he didn't do it when little Johnny didn't do great in the game today, but we're gonna give him a participation trophy. And we said, and the people on the right said, this is a huge problem that we're just giving participation trophies and not expecting excellence and performance. And then now Trump comes around and he's not giving excellence or performance. They're like, oh, but he's trying really hard. Like, what the fuck just happened here? We're doing the same thing that we just argued against for the last 4, 5, 6 years, which is we give people a pass because they're on our side. But that's what we criticize the Democrats for giving their own side a pass for being incompetent. We can't do that. That doesn't work as a system. We have to demand excellence, especially from the highest levels of government. They have no excuse to be anything but excellent. And if we let them be mediocre, we're going to be a mediocre country and we're going to lose. We must require excellence from them at all times. And I don't care what excuse they have. No excuse is good enough. Excellence. And if we set the standard of the President of the United States as excellence and perfection, even when he fails, we'll improve. But if we put our standard as, well, we like him, we're never going to get better.
No, it's more than, you got to be more than we like him. But they came out the gate fast and hard, and I'm going, how long can you keep that momentum? He's going to wear them out, because all the people that are working under him, because I know he doesn't take a whole lot of excuses if you fail. He's tough, probably really tough to work for, because I had a boss like him. They were exactly alike. But at the end of the day, it was just business. But what, again, I want to say that his ego truly wants to be the guy that they go, He straightened us out, but he's only got 3.5 more years, and who knows what the hell. I mean, every day it's a friggin' fiasco. I'm chomping at the bit. The minute the show is over, I wake up in the morning, it's like, fuck, I want to do another show because the whole world has just changed again, and just to help straighten it all out or explain it all.
24 hours, the war in Ukraine will be over.
I know.
I didn't say that. I didn't ask you to say that. I didn't demand that. You said that. 24 hours, it will be so over. It'll be so quick. Everyone's going to be so happy. I didn't say that.
Yep.
Then what happened? We're still funding Ukraine, number one. Number two, we're sending more weapons to Ukraine, number two. And number three, no one's ever said, do you know what? It's going to take longer than 24 hours. Sorry, guys. None of those things. No accountability, no plan, and no future opportunity or ability to change. What are we doing here? 24 hours. No one asked you that. We didn't say make that your campaign promise. They chose their campaign promise.
No, I get
24
it.
24 hours, the war will be over. Where's the war? Why isn't it over?
I think by the time he got into office, it got way more complicated. Maybe in the beginning would be, when it was. I know, I hear you, bro.
Oh, come on, man.
I don't know.
You can't. He didn't say it.
I know.
And he said it like up to like a week before inauguration. Day one is gonna be over. What are we at? Day 130, 140?
Every time he was getting in, he's reeling them in. Everything just blew up in his face, and it's like, fuck. I get it. You're right, but I don't think he wants to keep it going. He's not one of those, warmongers. I don't believe. But
if you hire someone, say you hire an accountant,
yeah,
and he says to you, "I'm gonna have your tax by Friday." Friday comes around, no taxes. Monday comes around, no taxes. A week later, no taxes. 2 weeks later, no taxes. A month later, 2 months later, 3 months later. He promised you the taxes on Friday. Do you hold him accountable for that, or do you just wait until he finally comes to you? No, you would have fired him. You would have called him. You would have held him accountable because that's what you hired him to do. That's in everything in life. But for some reason, with this administration and this right that we have, who I thought were on my side, we're like, dude, I know we said one day, but this is a 3-month thing. Like, you could have at least called me to tell me that. You could have let me know. You talk every day to the internet and the people. You just ignored it.
I thought you were talking about my tax guy when you were talking about the tax guy, because I definitely got a tax guy like that. No, I'm not taking the red pill. I just don't think he really wants the war to go on either. But when you got two other leaders, I don't know if you can compare the tax guy, because you got two other world leaders that are going, fuck you, it's our country and we're not backing down. And the other one's going, fuck them. If you cut off Ukraine with money, then you're getting blamed for not supporting them and they're getting annihilated. And if you keep on,
what?
Well, then what do you do?
Let them burn each other up. Who cares?
I think he thinks that way too, but
no, he doesn't, because if he did, then that's what would have happened.
The Dems are going to, like, Trump's killing, the Ukraine.
He's not even running for another election. Why does he care? This is what he promises. This is what we wanted. This is what America wanted. To U.S. get out of these wars and let them figure their shit out. Then what should we do when he gets elected? Get out of the wars and let them figure their shit out. Because that's what we were promised and that's what we want. And will it lead to death and destruction? I don't know. Maybe they'll figure it out. Actually, we don't know what's going to happen because we haven't tried it. The only solution we ever tried is give them more money and weapons.
Yeah.
What happens when we actually pull out? Do they have the balls to actually go to a real war with each other? We don't know that. Maybe the whole thing's a bluff and we're just the guy playing for the whole entire thing. We don't actually know because we've never tried it. So when Trump said, we're going to pull out all the troops, we're going to cut off everyone's funding, and I'm going to end the war day one, where we're going to pull out. Yes, let's see what happens. I'm curious to know. And if all else fails and it becomes an all-out war after 1 or 2 months because we pulled all the funding, we said the war was going to end, and everyone reneged on their deal, we can go back in there. But why don't we try what we promised? Who believes us? How many times has Trump said, if Israel and Palestine don't come to a treaty or a ceasefire, we are going to scorch hell on everyone? He said that like 3 times. It never happened. Who takes his bluff seriously anymore? We elected him because we thought that when he says he could do something, that the other world leaders were scared of him. That's what we thought.
Well, Monica, I got news for you. Nobody calls me up from the White House giving me the inside scoop. So I do listen to a lot of media. I listen to all kinds of media. Man, I'm telling you, it's like, which is cool, but, you more than what I should have put the phone lines on. I should have opened up the phones tonight, but but I haven't talked to you in so long.
I'm like overly excited today. I don't know why. I'm just like,
oh, dude, this is good. Again,
I'm frustrated because I think a lot of America is frustrated.
I am too, and I like the back and forth banter. I mean, I can't. If I was just, I'm not. I didn't come. Actually, I wanted to talk to you about. I was going to try, but to talk about everything but this stuff with you. But it really needs to be said. Well, here we are. It just is what it is. We live in it every day, and it's not going away. And so, but again, the like everybody's Monday morning quarterbacking. Like, you believe what you believe. We're probably all believing basically the same stuff. But I don't get to hear your explanation right now because you're not on my show. Not you, but Monica. I mean, because that's the problem. People call names. It's like, explain it to me. I'll turn the phones on, call in, but they don't. They don't.
I have zero care what the media says. I have zero care what the politicians say. I don't care what the experts say. I don't care what anyone says. Because at this point, it's just common sense. I think that's the only thing that matters to me now. If you said you're going to pull out of the wars, why didn't we pull out? If you said there's going to be mass deportations, you're going to remove all the criminals, why didn't that happen? If you said that the economy is going to get better immediately, how come that hasn't happened? There's a huge problem with the economy. There's more houses than ever, and people aren't buying them. Why? Because people are broke. People aren't richer. They're more poor. This is a problem. These are the things that people cared about.
Yeah. Monica, I know who owns the mainstream media. I do. Okay? I get it. I do. I get it. But
Modernization Act,
If she had watched enough of my shows, me telling everybody to not believe anything you see on TV, if I could count how many times I've said that. But unfortunately, like I said, you're a newbie to me, and you love Matt and hate me. But that's okay. Eventually you'll learn to love me. Just stick around. You'll learn more about me other than this, our little back and forth that, I suck and he's great. And that's fine. I'm good. It's because Matt, you understand Matt. You don't understand me, and I'm not really understandable. They gave up in psychiatric stuff when I had to go, but it's all good. Where are we? All right. But I get it with the media. I tell everybody not to listen to me either. Do your own homework. But that's why I use all the video clips when I'm talking about this stuff, because I show the past and I show the here and now of the same people who are talking two different things, but one was good and now it's bad. So it's like, I'm not the liar. I'm just pointing it out. You do the work, but nobody ever does. They just move on and headline readers. I think we talked about that a year ago too. It's just take what you say and go. It's all good, rock and roll. But I just love this. I swear to God, we could just spend time just reading every single, because there's some good comments here, and even the jabs. I mean, I like that. It's like it's good stuff. But do you guys agree with Joe Rogan and Alex Jones? Yes and
I don't
no.
know what they said. I think it must be specific to something they said recently. I'm not sure what it is.
Oh, really? Well, I mean, Alex Jones I thought was kind of crazy at times, and Rogan, I mean, he does his homework and things like that too. But again, we're all not going to be exactly alike. It's like, whatever.
I liked Alex Jones when he was crazier.
Yeah,
I liked him when he was like shooting off the hip, and I had no idea what he was going to say. And I was like, oh, and sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong, but he said it with conviction.
Yeah.
I don't think he's the same guy that he once was.
I don't pay enough attention
any longer.
I just happen by sometimes when I hear things. I think he's got that crazy, rough, scraggly voice. So I it's kind of like you want to listen to it because it's like, what's he got going on now? But I just take things with a grain of salt. Take a little bit from here, a little bit from there, simmer it for a while before I spew it out, and then throw it out there and see what everybody's got to say. I mean, it's glad. I'm not expecting everybody to agree with me. Yeah, I'd love to hear, but the kick in the nuts, it's like, is that really necessary? Thank God I got my titanium cup. That's all I can say, because I like my deeper voice. But it's all good. There's some good. Alex Jones has access to what? Where we go? Had access to only insiders have. Yeah, he probably did or does. I don't know. But I've heard some stuff. I'm going, man, I don't know. You're talking some crazy ass shit, but who knows? Who knows?
I think that whole bankruptcy thing really was hard on him because it's a lot of money and they almost took everything from him.
Yeah.
And eventually everyone's got a breaking point, everyone's got a price. And I don't think he's as aggressive and willing to go down the deep, dark rabbit holes that he once was. I think he was right a lot. I think he's not right a lot now. And I think he's just aged out of it. They just beat him. And it's sad. He's not the same guy he was, but I don't know. Let him cruise off into the sunset. That's what I think.
Speaking of My Pillow, I just, that guy disappeared, and not that I say anything. When's the last time I don't even see a My Pillow advertisement on TV anymore. I heard he went down in flames as well.
Oh, really?
Fighting. Yeah,
Mike Lindell.
Mike Lindell. See, you got the other screen on. I heard that he went down in flames, is going down in flames because that whole thing about him spending all his money on trying to prove the election fraud, just they put the screws to him and just ran him down out of money. I mean, best way to break a person is just, take all his money. I don't even, I mean, he was having some hard times, but he was still out there, selling his pillows and stuff. And
$2.3 million in damages to Dominion, it looks like, just happened. They just awarded him.
He's got
more than that. They were asking for 62.7. Yeah. He just keeps on losing these law cases, a lot of legal fees. He's probably to pay for the other side's legal fees.
Yeah, the lawyers make the money. That's all they do. But he was that, vested in it and believed, and I got quite a few My Pillows. I got to admit, I got to give. I mean, he had a good story, and his heart was in the right place. But I don't even see him advertising. And I just recently heard through somebody, and they go, "Yeah, no, he's good. They broke him, and and his business is going down." And I just hate that because it wasn't an American-owned business. On top of it,
yeah, and, they actually made good pillows.
I like them. I do. I got all different sizes and shapes. I've thrown some away and got new ones. And
they make good pillows. There's zero knock on the pillows. Phenomenal pillows.
There you go. I don't care about all the other My stuff. But it was. I don't know. It just popped into my head as we're talking about these different people who really got involved, who I think cared, and all of a sudden because I'm watching these. As we're talking about Rogan, they think Rogan. Look, you can say what you want about Rogan, but he's got a crowd, and he built that crowd. Okay, yes, he was known from other things, but you don't have to watch him. I mean, he was the first one to get away with 3-hour plus shows. You got to be dedicated to watch 3-hour plus shows like this one. It just,
Mike Lindell built his online name and reputation on the entirety of election fraud. And when Trump decided that it's not important anymore and that people shouldn't talk about it, and had the Republican Party stop talking about it and didn't want anyone mentioning it, he was kind of left out there to hang because he hung his career on that. And they just shifted away from the narrative altogether. And he was left in no man's land. And when there's no support, when there's no public support, when no one's thinking about it anymore, and he goes through all these courts, they're going to beat him because there's no public backlash for going after him. He got no support by the public when he was going through the court system because they hung him out to dry. He put his entire career on the line on the idea of election fraud. And middle of election season last year, they decided this is not something we're going to care about. We're not going to talk about. And they removed themselves and they separated themselves from anybody that built their name and reputation on election fraud. And that sucks because after 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, a lot of us questioned the election.
Yeah.
And just like they did with Epstein, on the turn of a dime, they said, actually, we're not going to think about it anymore. Don't talk about it anymore. And a lot of the country stopped talking about it. Who mentions election fraud any longer? Nobody.
I see where they were on Trump about it. It's like, all right, quit kicking the dead horse. That's in the past and this and that. Make sure the new election doesn't get.
That's not true though. For the last 3 years, you told us that the election was rigged and stolen. That is a very serious accusation.
It is.
You're talking about the entirety of the voting process. So either when you get elected or while you're getting elected, you need to prove that now. He has all the ability to prove that out. He doesn't want anyone thinking about it or talking about it. Why? What happened? For 3 years, 4 years, we were told this is the biggest issue in America. Why don't we get closure on that? We're talking about something that you can't trust the election system any longer. Why do we refuse to acknowledge that problem? This is this is something that actually needs to be dealt with. We were told for 4 years that the election system is rigged and broken. And as soon as a person who said that to us and told us that and made us believe that, as soon as he gets into office, nothing. So were you lying to us the entire time?
Well, they're still working on. They're working still.
Nobody's working on it.
No, not. But on you making sure you have ID, you can't just show up and or get ballot. Well, it's better than nothing. I mean, it is a valid point.
Was 2020 stolen or not?
Okay.
You told us for 4 years that it was stolen. You said you had the proof. You said you had the data. You said you had the binders. All these people in queue said, no, like actually Space Force has it. We were told that for 4 years. You're in office now. You have the House. You have the Senate. You have the DOJ. You have the FBI. Figure it out. Is it true or not? And nobody wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Then did it really happen?
I
don't know. Don't we deserve an answer?
The reason I truly believe that it did, and he thought it did at the time, was he came on early with his succession speech until the next morning when all of a sudden everything just changed. I mean, and it was
I was 100% on that side.
Yeah.
It was stolen.
Yeah.
But now that they've the opportunity to prove that it was stolen, nothing.
Yeah.
So that wasn't.
That goes with a lot of these things that we're talking about tonight. I mean, this is just so many things that, like, you are in charge now. You have access to everything. What the fuck? And was
2020 stolen or not? He made that claim for 4 years.
Yeah.
I think it's very fair for us to ask that over and over and over again, because a lot of people literally decided who they're going to vote for in 2024 because of the premise that they believe 2020 was stolen. We cannot let people just lie to us anymore. I'm so sick of that.
It's the everyday thing. That's the problem. It's like lying is just the Smith-Mundak. I'm just baffled. We know it's bad, but yet he's not doing anything to stop the press from just being able to legally just lie. I don't get it.
Because they used it in 2020. They used it during their election. Obama's the one that made it. Or the one that amended it. They've been using it for how many years? Why would you? People, when they get power, they never do anything to give up their power. So it's a problem when the other side has it.
Yeah,
you're like, we gotta move it. We gotta move it. But then, as soon as you get in power, you're like, oh yeah, now that I can use it, I'm gonna remove it. That doesn't happen. This is a problem too. Like, there's so many problems. If they wanted to make America great again, the first thing they would do, or one of the things they do, they repeal it. Why don't they repeal it?
You would think. And again, it's probably a lot more complicated.
If you actually cared about the people, you would do it. It's not that complicated.
Well, I don't know, because I talked to Tim Kramer. He's a guy who takes no shit. I don't know if you've heard of him or seen any of his clips, but he pretty much says what he feels. And I talked to him briefly on that, and I can't remember his version of what he thinks the explanation was, but it was a lot better than what I'm telling you. I don't remember. But it's deep, and this is what is so disappointing, so to speak. One more thing on Lindell. Did you know he has a TV channel?
Lindell TV.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That was totally a guess.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, his name. You said Lindell, so I said Lindell TV.
Only because I've interviewed some other people who are semi-political, and they go, "You're not on Lindell TV," and I go, "No," and I was shocked. I think that it's still going, but because the guy had his heart into the whole thing. I think he was really wanting to do better, or wanting better from the country, and took his hard-earned money and his success and tried to do it the best way he could. But you're right, he did kind of get left in the dust, and you don't even see him hanging around anymore. I mean, he's not in the company, and it's like, who did he piss off?
Mike Lindell is gone. Rudy Giuliani is gone. Right?
Yeah, I liked what he did for New York, but he did have some sketchy shit in the backgrounds.
I mean, everyone that was really big on the 2020 election fraud side, they're all gone.
Yeah.
They've all disappeared. They just intentionally buried them. So the only logical conclusion it comes down to is that it's intentional. They don't want people talking about it. They don't want them being vocal about it anymore. They're gone.
I guess it's just fascinating. Again, from friend to foe, like that, and this whole thing with the whole Elon and them. They're buddies. They're not buddies, and you're going, what the fuck is going on here? I mean, I can understand to be some misunderstandings, and Trump is the kind of guy like he can deal with that, but and use it's just business, but. I don't know, man. That to go in so deep with somebody and then come out and then all of a sudden like, okay, we're done and that's over with and move on. But
I mean, that was another bad decision. Like Trump teaming up with Elon was a bad decision. I knew that the moment that they were doing it. I've talked about it, and I got crushed online for saying that's a bad decision, that this is not going to end well, that this is not going to be better for anybody. If anything, you're empowering a guy that's been proven to not like Trump. Why would you team up with him? That this is not going to end well. And I saw that. A lot of people saw that. Why didn't you see it? Why didn't he see that?
He campaigned.
He's around him.
I know.
But he didn't need him. He would have won anyway.
Well, again, they all, and Elon don't need Trump. I mean, or vice versa. And he went against the grain. He pissed off all the lefties, and they started burning his cars, just to support Trump. That's what I don't.
No,
again,
he just got a $200-300 million government contract for his AI company. Like they took care of him.
Okay, well, I get that part too. And they were saying, well,
he's fine.
His electric car. No, he's never. He's always going to be fine. That's the whole thing. He'll never not be fine.
He got all of conservative onto X during the election cycle. He got his numbers up. He got to take X and put it under XAI and got a huge valuation and got a bunch of investors. And got a bunch of contracts. Good. And people are like, oh, look how much he's sacrificing for Tesla. He don't give a fuck about Tesla anymore. Tesla's like a backwards, old, antiquated legacy company. They don't care about that. Their AI company is what they care about. They're looking for an excuse to wind one down so they can move all their assets to the other.
I just think that one thing that came out of his mouth was actually, I thought was correct, and he was not blaming the people for burning those cars. He was blaming the people for putting the thoughts in their heads to burn the cars. You know what I mean? Again, media propaganda. I mean,
how many Teslas really burned? What'd you see? 5?
No, okay, but
five cars over and over again out of hundreds of thousands in the country.
But they created the hatred, I guess is what I'm saying, for that moment, for that month, for the, hatred of the month club, whatever. They put the impressions into these people who took it to to where they want. The whole psyop thing, the whole thing.
I mean, you don't think they put that in people's minds intentionally when they showed the image of Elon's Cybertruck in front of Trump Tower on New Year's Eve burning so the whole world can see that? You don't think they intentionally implanted that in people's minds, that that's a possibility? If you're mad at Elon, you're mad at Trump, you burn a Tesla. You don't think we've been imprinted with that image already intentionally? Because that's what happened. New Year's Eve, biggest news story of the entire world is this Cybertruck right in the middle, perfectly staged and perfectly angled with the sign Trump burning. We all saw that. And then when Trump and Elon fight, what happens? People burn Teslas. When people get mad at people burn Teslas. They told us to do that. They gave us the imagery to make that idea a possibility. They did that in the most high-profile way possible, which is on New Year's Eve, where that would cover the entire news cycle. They put the Cybertruck in front of the Trump sign, and they burned it on fire, and they got the pictures. They said it drove itself. The guy was already dead. It doesn't make any sense. The whole story didn't make sense.
It didn't, but that's what happened. That's what I'm saying. It's like all of a sudden now you got people dying or murder or bodies. Sean Ryan, right? Had that guy come in and you saw those interviews. Were you on Sean Ryan?
I interviewed him.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, I knew that you had some correlation with him, but I again, this is what I'm talking about. It's complicated. But when you got bodies and people dying, never really whatever came of that. Nothing.
I mean, earlier in that day, they said that there was this Islamic jihadist extremist that rolled through this crowd in New Orleans, and that they had a jihadist flag in his trunk, and then so they read two psyops that day. They wanted you to think that people are coming in and that you have to be worried about terrorists because they want to do all this other stuff that they're doing, and then they put up the Trump Elon Cybertruck imagery. If I were the deep state, I'd be feeling really good right now.
They're good at what they do. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I learned a lot in these past few years about that kind of, bag of dirty tricks. But you ever heard of Sean Webb? He's kind of like a brain guy. Sean Webb talks about mind control and all that kind of stuff. Never heard of him. I'm trying to get him on the show, but I guess he wants to be on like Joe Rogan and so the Peter G show is like, no, not big enough. But he underestimates me. But this is just a thing about denial. And I just thought about it. I go, just check it out. It's 1 minute, and because this guy comes up with some pretty good stuff at times, but check it out and tell me what you think.
41% of you, 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10 of your friends, 4 out of 10 of your coworkers, 4 out of 10 of anyone you pass on the street. 4 out of 10 of the people using this app select willful ignorance over believing evidence that could challenge one of their pre-existing beliefs. So what does that mean? That means 4 out of every 10 people that you know can be exposed to facts and information that they simply choose to ignore. Subconsciously or consciously, it doesn't matter. They can choose to ignore it, or their subconscious mind can choose to ignore it. At some point, we've all known that girl who their partner is cheating on them, but she simply refuses to see it. And you know people who don't have your politics, who, for the life of you, with what you know, you can't figure out how they can feel the different way. Maybe if you just add this one little extra bit of information, they'll change their mind. No, they won't, because everything's going through one ear and out the other with those folks. And I don't even want to start the conversation about the 41% of people who simply cannot accept that UFOs are real and aliens exist. Don't waste your time trying to convince them, because they could literally have a landing in their backyard, shake hands with an alien creature, and next week, they'll deny the whole thing. So what's that mean to you? That means 41% of the people that you argue with on a regular basis, strangers or not, are not going to listen to you.
Your thoughts?
I think that number is high. I mean, I think that number is low. I think most people don't listen to anybody these days. Yeah. Really? I mean, there's so much content. It's really hard to compete for people's attention. Attention is, attention is king. Attention is what runs the world right now. And to think that one person's idea on the random part of the street is like, oh yeah, 40% of people aren't going to remember that. Yeah, it's going to be way higher than that.
I mean, the belief factor. Yeah, the people who truly believe. Again, I try. You put it right under their face, and you go, "It's right here," and they go, "Yeah, but still." I get the "yeah, but still" a lot from people because they just hate. Like they hate the orange man, no matter what you say. Say he just cured cancer. Yeah, but still. I'm not saying you got to like Trump.
Yeah.
Just use him as an example.
I mean, they did that. They broke down trust in all establishments, all institution. And that's in our legal system. That is in our health system. That is in our education system. That's for the politicians. That's for the teachers. That's for the lawyers. That's for the political commentators that we watch, our podcasters that we watch, the influencers that we watch. We don't trust anyone anymore.
Neither do I.
So when you say, oh, yeah, I don't believe in it. Of course you don't believe them. Why would you trust a person you barely know? Why would you trust someone that you kind of know? Why would you trust anyone that's other than your wife? And you know what? Most people don't trust their wife anymore. So actually, people operate in a very low trust society. And this is a huge problem because society is best when we live in a high trust society. When you trust your friends, when you trust your neighbors, when you trust your doctors, when you trust your lawyers, when you trust everyone around you. And the problem is that for the last 6 years, since 2019, they have been lying to us at every single opportunity. And how can you blame someone for not believing or trusting? It's not their fault, actually. It's the system's fault. The system is systematically broken. And why is it that every time the biggest trust issues happen in the country is under Trump?
I question everything, even my own doctors nowadays, because I know they're under pressure. They see you for 10 minutes. They got so many minutes to spend with you. They're not even doctors anymore. They're pharmacists. The pharmaceutical rep comes in and goes, hey, if they got this, this, and this, you give them this, and I question everything. I think maybe I drive my daughter nuts sometimes because I just don't trust either. But if there's something that's, that's in your face, that's kind of factual, I think what he's saying is like, you just shook hands with an alien and you go, yeah, but still. That's not an alien.
Yeah. But this is a problem in society, is that you can't trust anybody. You can't. Because you're going to get screwed if you trust people. The bigger problem is that if society wants to be a high-functioning society, we have to live in a society that has trust. meaning that you have to trust people. You have to trust people around you. But the people who make that first leap of faith to trust their communities are the ones that are going to get screwed. De-incentivizing the next person to do it. We need to fix something here. We need to go back to being a high trust society. You need to be able to walk out your door and not lock your front door. That needs to be the norm. You need to be able to go and leave your car door unlocked. That needs to be the norm. You need to be able to walk out in LA with your grandmother or your sibling or your daughter at 10 o'clock at night because that's where you live and that's your right to walk around that neighborhood. You need to be able to do that. And we can't. These are the problems that the leadership must fix. Not let's build a golden dome. Let's not start more wars. Let's not do this mass deportation and give the ICE all this money, but reality not actually deport anybody. It's all political theater. Let's just solve real problems that we have in society. That's all I'm saying.
I get it, but where do you start? I mean, you got to wipe everything clean before, like you said earlier. But how? Where? With who?
There's a saying that I've been told many times because sometimes I get into large projects, I get into large businesses, and I get overwhelmed because there's so many things to do. And a friend of mine once said, "Eat the elephant one bite at a time."
Right. I've heard
a lot of people heard that
many years ago. I get
Eat the elephant one bite at a time.
Yeah, well,
it doesn't matter if you have so many things to do and you have so many problems to fix. You start by just solving one first. The problem with what's going on and what most presidents do is that there's so many problems to fix that they try to solve all of them at one time and never solve one. Solve one, then solve two, then solve three, then solve four. At least there's progress. We're in a day and age where we are just trying to solve all at the same time, and we don't actually solve anything. Solve one.
I get it. Again, there's so much shit going on, and we're just scratching the surface. I want to talk about trust and all that, especially was the main reason why I called you up, really, to come on the show. You got involved with some people that created. I mean, this drives me absolutely friggin' nuts. Tell me if I'm on the right track about everything. You think about something and you're looking on your phone, and then before you know it, like auto insurance or something, and then there's 9 million auto ads, and you didn't even touch a button, and it's showing up every place you turn around. Tell me about who you hooked up with to secure your own internet privacy.
So one of the most private things you have actually in your life is your browser history. Because we live in a digital age and we watch and consume and we research and we read and we share online. The problem with what you have right now is that when you browse the internet, which most people do as your default, the ISPs, the technology companies, the browser companies, the website owners that you go on, they have your information. They know exactly what you're doing. They know who you're talking to. They know what you're looking at. They have way more information about you, actually, so much so that they know what you like to eat. They know they know where you like to shop. They know what business you do. They know what business you're about to get into. They know who your friends are. They know who your side chick is. They know what you're going to buy your side chick for her birthday, and we're going to take her on dinner. They know what your kinks are. They know everything about you. They probably know you better than your best friend. And we give all that information to foreign countries. And this is a huge problem because privacy is freedom. If you give all your information to foreign companies, to foreign countries, to foreign tech companies, to U.S. tech companies, to foreign governments, to U.S. governments, that's not private any longer. Privacy is the right to selectively reveal oneself to the world. All your data belongs to you and only you, and you should be the one that gets to decide what information you share. And so we got into the VPN game. And the traditional legacy VPN operates the same. Every single VPN in the world operates the same. Is that you have to trust that this company, usually based overseas, that has access to your activity, to your data, that they will never sell, trade, lose your information. You have to trust that they will never backdoor your information. And this is a fundamental problem because in 2025, we know that's bullshit. They will lose, sell, trade, compromise your information every opportunity they get, intentionally or intentionally. So we built a brand new VPN where it is impossible for us as a VPN provider to see your activity, to see your data. If we don't have it, we can't compromise. If we don't have your information, We can't backdoor it. We can't give it up. And we think that this is going to change the way that privacy is done in the future and forever. It's something that we're really positive about. It's starting with a VPN. So how do we anonymize your traffic within a browser setting and the internet as a whole? But eventually we're going to roll out to actual privacy browsers, to roll out to how you interact with AI. I think privacy is freedom. Privacy is how you're able to have the ability to organize, the ability to communicate, the ability to share ideas with people that maybe they don't want you to share with. If you have no privacy, none of that is actually possible, which is why they're normalizing the idea that you don't deserve your privacy. They are normalizing the idea that you don't deserve your privacy. How many times do you talk about privacy in your data online and someone, you or your friend group, they say, who cares? They have it all anyway. True. That's exactly what they want you to think. Because you don't care anymore. They want you to think that you shouldn't care about your privacy because we have it anyway. In the meantime, they're taking it. You have to stand strong in the idea that privacy is important. Because if they have your privacy, they take away your ability to organize. That's actually really important.
Let me break it down for just everybody a little bit. You keep saying VPN. For those who are just watching and they just use computers, casually and phones, what the hell is a VPN?
So a VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. And if you really think about it, they've been telling you it's bullshit the entire time because they said it's a virtual private network. Virtual means not real. Their privacy was not real. They've been telling us. It's been plain sight. So a VPN is a virtual private network. What it does is it gives you the ability to hide and mask your IP and change it to a different location so that the data companies don't know specifically who you are and where you are because a lot of the information about you is tied to your IP. The problem with that is that you're giving all that information of who you are to foreign entities. And that's why we built the product. We believe that no one should know, that we shouldn't know. We don't want to know. I do not want to know what you are doing. Because if I don't know what you're doing, I can't compromise you.
Like some of these guys on here that are talking about they're whacking off to Pornhub or so. It's like, I'm going, too much information.
22 states in the United States has made a law where if you want to watch adult content online, you have to give them your ID and age verify. That's crazy, by the way. I don't agree. I'm not an adult content consumer. I'm not telling you to watch more adult content. I think it's bad for your mind. But it's your freedom to do what you want. I just think you shouldn't do it. Yeah. I have a freedom absolute. I think you should have the ability to do anything. Just you shouldn't do it because it's bad for you. The government should not intervene with our private lives.
Yeah.
22 states you have to show an ID for. How many people in the chat goon on a regular basis? They're like, dude, I don't want to give my ID up. Yeah, of course. Who wants to give your ID to a porn site? That's crazy.
I think they're doing
Don't do that, by the way.
Their excuse,
Horrible
I think,
idea.
is more. I think their excuse is more about being underage or something like that. That's at least what I think, because I've seen that that people talk on the news about how they're trying to crack down on it. If it's cracking that, I don't know how that cracks down on it, but whatever. But I think it's about underage.
How about
people,
parents do their job and make sure that they know what their kids are watching? How about we take accountability for our own families and our own progeny instead? How about we stop letting the government tell us how do we live our lives, how to raise our children, what we can or cannot do as grown adults, and we take the responsibility of raising our children. I don't understand why that's such a difficult concept. Why do we applaud the government when they intervene in our lives more?
Some people are just plain old lazy and think that it's an easy way out, but I don't think they really understand the repercussions in the long run. That's the problem. They make it sound like, well, the old adage, again, I heard it yesterday or today, it's like, we're the government, we're here to help. Okay.
Someone says, we need ID for alcohol. Why would it need it for porn? No, you show your ID for alcohol. You don't give them your ID into a database for porn. For alcohol. It's not the same thing. And they're porn companies. They're mostly non-US based companies. Do you really think that's a good idea that the United States government or the state governments mandate that you give your ID to international porn companies? What world is that a good idea, by the way?
Wait, I thought you're registering with the state that you're in.
No, you have to give proof to the porn site company that you're overage because they're making the porn site companies require it to be compliant.
Oh, that's dumb. Yeah, that is kind of, it's like, yeah, we promise.
Don't do that, by the way. Do not
Yeah.
give a copy of your driver's license to a porn company, please. That's a horrible idea.
So let's go back to the VPN. So
Stating
you're
the obvious.
virtual. Say it one more time.
Virtual privacy network.
Okay, so how easy is this for? I mean, 'cause I can't. I'm telling you, I am so friggin' sick of just all the bullshit. I mean, and then you got like your Duck. Is it like a browser, DuckDuckGo, that claim? Tell me how it works.
No, you just you install the client. You sign up online. You install the client. You log into the app, and it runs on the background of your phone or your desktop, and it just masks your IP. So you can choose which server around the world that you want to connect into, and then no one can know exactly what you're doing.
Okay, so then let's get into this. You're talking about trust, and you say that, hey, we don't trust the ones that say that we're not looking. Why wouldn't people want to say the same thing? Well, how do we know we can trust you?
So that's exactly the problem that we were trying to solve, is how do we remove trust from the equation? Because trust-based technology companies are legacy. They're traditional. They're a dying dinosaur at this point. Zero trust is the future. So how do we create a zero trust architecture for a VPN? And what we do is we route all the network traffic through a hardware secure enclave. They're basically these cryptographic boxes that are within certain processors that are used for very confidential signatures, banks, etc., highly security audited because of the level of sensitivity that they process. And we just figured out to take something that was for key confirmations and how do we run network traffic through. So even if you get root access into a server, you can't see inside the box. We ourselves cannot see into the box. We can't correlate any of your data. It's just a very different way to do it. And we think that this standard will also be implemented into things like messaging. There's so many use cases because the reality is that some tech companies, if they're privacy companies, they don't want to know your information. They're just forced to.
Okay, because I mean, everything's gotten very complicated. I see this whole AI thing. I'm watching people post memes, and I'm going, that's not real, right? I mean, even I can tell on a quick glance. Sometimes if I can't even tell, I just shut the fuck up because I'm going, I can't tell if this is real or fake. I need to let it play out a little bit longer. But things are getting very complicated, and people are having a hard time decipher reality from fake, and then you got something to help secure. I'm tired of all these ads. It helps slow all that down, correct?
I mean, it'll help target you because they won't know exactly who you are. But the reality is that you have to choose your reality. It depends on what you want to use it for. So if you're going to scroll Facebook, you're actually agreeing to give them all your data.
Yeah.
You actually didn't have a choice in that matter. You agreed to do it.
Everywhere,
if you're
really.
using Instagram, if you're using Google and you sign into your Google account when you search Google, you've deliberately agreed to give them all your information.
Amazon.
If you want to search the internet and you want to navigate the internet in a more private manner, then it's the first step of many that you need to be as private as possible. You have to be the bearer of your own privacy at this point. You can no longer trust technology companies to do it because they're incentivized to get as much data from you as humanly possible. And if you want to stay off the grid even a little bit, or you want to stay out of this Palantir style tracking system that the government is running out, you have to protect yourself. And the VPN is like the first layer that you need. And on top of that, depending on the level and the deepness of privacy that you want, you start with the VPN and you start building on top. So a lot of VPN providers will say, oh yeah, you need a lot of things. So here, take this one and we'll add all these things for you and package it. The reality is that's a very not private way to do it. You have to have them that work. You can't have them overlap onto each other. So you have your VPN. I think we have the most private, best one in the world. I really do. It's the most, for sure, 100% the most private one in the world. And then you get other tools depending on use cases that you add on.
All right. Now, today, and I just screwed up today too, when I contacted you because I didn't hear from, we didn't get to talk yesterday. And so I wanted to have something to show how they can get a hold of. And then I screwed up and didn't. Tell me, so I had this from yesterday. I hope it's good enough because I didn't log on to where you told me to get information. Is this how they can all get a hold of the app to help secure all their devices?
Yeah, you go to vp.net, you sign up for an account, and then you download it if you're on iOS, if you're on iPad, if you are on Mac OS, if you're on Linux, you're a Windows user.
So it
You
works
just
for
download the
everything.
app and it works for everything. I have, I think, 6 devices that I rotate through because I'm in the tech space, so I have a lot of devices,
Yeah.
and I just put them on all of them. I actually run it all the time.
Right. Well, and no more difficult than normal. It's just running in the background. You don't even know it's there.
Yeah, you just run it, you turn it on, and depending on where you want to be, you can move around if you need to. I rarely do. I just kind of click to whatever's closest to me, and I just keep it on. I think privacy is really important, and more than actual privacy, because privacy is important. The idea of privacy is even more important because
No,
if people stop believing that they deserve privacy, they're going to take it all, and once they take it all, your opportunity to organize and fight back goes away.
That's what I felt was going on these past 4 years, and that's why I was, concerned. I was hoping we were going to have a better way because little by little they just keep taking away things from us. And I'm going, you don't realize the direction we're going, but the computer stuff just drives me nuts because I used to make fun of a few friends of mine who are really low on the radar, and I'm going, dude, you are so paranoid. Who gives a shit about you to worry about your stuff? But at the same time, I do get it. Information is information. So
you just have, at minimum, you have to signal to the world, you have to signal to the establishment, you have to signal to deep state politicians, whoever it is. You have to constantly signal that privacy is important. It's actually one of the most important things out there. Because again, if they take it, you lose your ability to organize in the future. Yeah. How do you organize if you not have an ability to privately and confidentially communicate? You can't. That's why they're always coming after it. That's why they normalize the idea that you don't deserve it. You have to retain it. And if you want to do anything for the future of humanity, you protect your privacy.
Yeah. Scott says, as soon as I can flash this laptop and drill the special locations in the chipset, I will download. It's probably a smart move. Yeah, nice. Again, you can't do something if you don't know it's out there. And you guys just recently came out with this, right?
Yeah, we've been working on it for about 5 months now. I'm working with some of the smartest and most accomplished people in the world in this space. I'm really fortunate that they happen to be good friends of mine, that they are supporters of what I do, and they are technologists at heart. They are privacy-focused people at heart. They're true liberty-seeking people at heart. And they said, Matt, like, we're really good at the technology side. We're really good at building this type of company. You're really good and you enjoy being out there talking to people, spreading the message. Let's partner up together and let's build this thing. And it's going to be, we intended on being one of the biggest privacy companies in the world, if not the biggest, because that's really what we care about.
That's cool. I mean, again, it takes a team. You can, you got to have it all the way around. I've had some people that have some of the greatest products, but they just couldn't get it out there. They just didn't have it just wasn't their forte. And it's like, you need to have advertising to, how can you, it's a great product, but if nobody knows it's there, how are you going to do it? But it's easy enough. VP.net. It's like, okay, you don't have a whole lot to remember there. And all you got to remember is it's going to help you, save your privacy and your information and all that. So fair enough. I did want to talk. That was the whole reason why I called you to be on this show.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, it makes sense to me. But again, that was the whole reason why I called you. I go, look what he's gotten into now.
Yeah.
And
cool. When we launched, I thought more people cared about privacy than they did. And then I just get so many messages from people saying they can get all my information anyway. They can track you anyway. The government can get everything they want on you anyway. And do you know what? That's not true. They're actually not as competent as you think they are. They just pretend like they're competent, but they're really like the emperor with no clothes. It's all bluff. Not all, but a lot of it. Do they have access to really technical technologies and high quality technologies? Yes, they do. Are they competent enough to use it to go after and surveil the entire United States? No, they don't. And be like, of course they do. What has the government ever done that's been overly competent, actually? Can they deliver your mail well? No. Can they run an election well? No. Can they run press conferences well? Actually, they can't even do that. What can they actually do well? Can they go to the Mars? Can they go to the moon well? No, they fucked that up too and pretend like they did, but they didn't go. There are so many things in life that we think that the government is good at, and they convince us that they're really good at. And one of those things is that we think that they have this ability to just surveil everyone all at one time, and they have all this information. And the reality is, if you make yourself difficult just enough, they actually probably can't get you. Because, again, Name one thing in life that the government has ever been really good at. Nothing. They just convince you that they're good at things. And then 10 years later, after the fact, and after you believe them, you realize, oh, actually, they're not good at that. They're inefficient. They're slow. And what technologist that can make money disappear really well? That is
There you go. Bravo. They're magicians.
That is the only thing that they are good at, is that they are good at making money disappear
into their pockets. Yeah.
Don't buy the psyop that they're good at anything or everything, because they're not. There's no proof for that. Don't let them convince you of that, because they will beat that down into your brain over and over and over again. Comply because we can do it anyway. It's not true.
No,
if it was,
oops. Where the hell is it? Hang on, I got one more for you. They're pretty. No, it keeps on moving on me. Sorry, I'm not trying to even do that one.
They're pretty good at withdrawing from Afghanistan. That's hilarious.
That too, but that wasn't. There we go. They're pretty good at spreading fear. I think they did that. They did the best I've ever seen. It almost fooled me for a few months back in the early 20s.
They're good at playing games.
Yeah, games.
They're not good. They're not good at actually delivering.
Yeah. Well, then again, last.
If they were, they'd deliver the mail on time.
That's a whole other thing. They've been going broke forever, and they're still in business.
They've been doing it for how many years? They can't figure that out, but all of a sudden they're going to figure out technology? Come on, that makes no sense.
Hence the term going postal. That was the first kind of rage, going postal. They don't use that word anymore, but that was the first one I was growing up as a kid.
Bring that back. Going
postal. I think I see it. To me, it never left, but I'm old school, like some of your friends said. I don't forget that shit because I am older. I mean, what am I going to do? So we're all going to get there, folks. But 25 and childish, but you still learn shit by getting your ass kicked through life, and you seem to take it with you. But again, vp.net, secure your all your personal information. I'm telling you, Google alone, if you do enough fishing around, you can find out things about pretty much whatever you want to find out: people, places, things, all that kind of stuff. So imagine, it's just too much information out there.
Yeah, you just got to protect yourself, and you actually got to care. And the more you care, you start going down this rabbit hole of caring about things more. It's like anything else in life. Once you commit to pulling a thread, you're going to get to a place, and your conclusion is like, actually, privacy is really important.
I think a lot of people have to get bit before they finally understand, like, damn, I wish I would have done that sooner. I mean, I'm kind of sometimes that way too. There was times in my life where I thought about it, tomorrow. And then you finally do it out of necessity because you just got your ass, handed to you for some reason or another, and go, damn, I wish I would have done it. So here's your opportunity, folks. Go check it out. Is there a website? Does it talk all about it and all that?
Yeah, go to vp.net, click around, click some about us, or click some what is a VPN. There's a lot of resources and content on there that'll get you started on at least your privacy journey. There's something in there called the Cypherpunk Manifesto. Actually, there's two manifestos in life that I've read countless times. One manifesto is actually Ted Kaczynski's manifesto, the Unabomber Manifesto. If you've never read it, it's a must read. And the other one is the Cypherpunk Manifesto, because Ted Kaczynski's manifesto talks about the threat of technology and the threat of overly liberalism. And the Cypherpunk Manifesto talks about the threat of losing privacy. And I think both are really important. And they were both written about the same time. The Cypherpunk Manifesto that talks about the importance of privacy and technology and how technology can be used to finally protect privacy. That was written in 1993. So go check that out. It's on the website. Go to vp.net and look for the Cypherpunk Manifesto. I don't know. It's my technological guiding light.
Gotcha. Well, again, it's on that website. Check it out. Don't wait until it's too late. I think they probably came up with a really great idea now. Start putting your toe in the water. It takes one step. Even if you don't jump immediately, at least learn more. Because I had to learn. I mean, we all have had those points where you think about something, but it's just a thought. So I'm sticking it in everybody's face. Go for it. It's a good product that actually does something like protect your privacy. Speaking of which, I know I kept you up. I mean, you might be up anyway, but I know I kept you away from, your family and all that tonight. and I do appreciate it. I appreciate that we got to talk about a lot of different things all at once, and it made your audience think. It made them and give their opinions. And honestly, maybe someday, if I get you back on again, we'll do nothing but read. I'm telling you, the comments are great. Even
They're the best.
Yeah,
They're the best.
So,
I mean, they're good or bad. I don't care. Like, they're awesome. I don't
and care.
If you've noticed, some of those comments have been here the entire time. Which is amazing.
Oh, I don't even know how many. It's got to be.
Some of the same people are just hanging out with us tonight, which is the best part. I love that feeling.
It's a long show, and there has been, and a couple of them said, got to go, can't take this Peter G guy, which I get it. Again, it's just like dating, first time, but they're used to you. I truly believe that, a lot of them came on because of you, because they know and trust you. I know and trust you, and that's why I had you on the show. But
thank you.
Again, I don't think if I was exactly like you, it's like, what's the point of me being on the show with you? So
burn it all down. Damn the man. No, sandwich is broken, and power to the people. Why not?
It's all good. Look, it's all good. I just say, do no harm. Just be a decent human being. I'm just maybe getting a little bit softer in my old age, and I just give a shit. We have kids that need to grow up into a world that you want to see them, be in a decent world. And that's a big deal. That's I think it changed me having my child, and I don't know what it did for you, but I mean it was an instantaneous mindset difference, and that I've carried with me and gotten more and more involved in worrying about or caring about what's important for us growing. I swear when I did this show, I said no politics, no religion. I guess I was wrong. I feel it's that important.
We're in a day and age where you just have to question people and you have to hold people accountable. That's actually the only thing that I'm thinking about these days. How do you make sure these people are held accountable? Yeah. Because it is psyop after psyop. It is bot war after bot war. It is propaganda versus propaganda. Nothing on the internet is real. Everything is manufactured. Everything is trending artificially by force. And the only thing we can do is encourage each other to think freely, think for ourselves, question narratives, and hold the people in charge accountable. It doesn't matter if it's your side or not. If Kamala won, we'd be talking shit about Kamala and we'd be pressuring her. If Trump wins, we need to give him the same treatment. We don't give him a pass because he did not solve the problems yet. I think that's fair.
I think that he must be knowing, he must be feeling it, because there's a lot of people that are not happy right now that truly loved and supported him on just exactly what you said, because he said he was going to do something. And I mean, he holds everybody else accountable. He rips off heads. He's quick to fire. I mean, no doubt about it.
I don't know. Pam Bondi is like apparently the best thing ever. So, what are you going to say about that?
No, I'm talking about.
I love Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is the best.
Up until this past week. I was, he'd take off heads. It's like, you're fired. You're fired.
I don't know why anyone's talking about Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein's a good guy.
I
really?
Truly, this is a big disappointment.
Sure.
This is a big disappointment to a lot of people in
the
United States.
Thank you, baby. BB's here, the greatest man ever alive. Like, okay, really?
I think I'm hoping that there's an he starts.
I'm just saying, man.
We'll see.
He said that. I didn't say that.
I know. I get it. And there's alliances, and I get that too. But this time he pissed off the people that voted him in. And this one's by far the worst so far. I know we're only 6 months into it, but this was to me, it was like not so big that it's really big. It's like there could be worse, but this is really big because why not? Since we were so positive on everything. So. But either way, we talked about it and a million other things and trust and all that. But I thank you. I love you for taking the time with me. And I hope we can do this again down the road at whatever factor and manner, maybe in person. When you were in LA back last year, you were so hard to get a hold of. I literally wrote, because you were doing a couple of different stops, a few different places. I invited you to stay at my house. I don't think you ever saw the email. Because I never got it. Yeah. I go, well, if you're in LA, I mean, I'm outside of LA, but for all I knew, you were yeah, well, there you go. So again, thank you. Thank your wife for letting me have you here for a little bit. I want to thank your audience for having me and my audience for having me. I thank them every day. I'm glad, thank God every day that somebody actually gives a shit. So, all right, again. Oh, Matt Kim podcast. You're still doing it, right? That's
Thank
where
you,
people
sir.
can find you? All right.
Definitely
Matt
can
Kim
find me
podcast.
there.
Right there. All right. I love you. Ladies and gentlemen, one last look at the Matt Kim from the Matt Kim podcast right there. Look, I'll give you a
Hey, everybody.
There you go.
Good night.
All right, brother. I'll see you later. There we go.
Okay, bye.
Bye. And oops. There I am. Holy moly. A lot of stuff. Hey, I want to tell you everybody real quick before you end up taking off because your Matt's gone. Next week, right here, Tone Chasers. Steve Rosen, veteran rock journalist, going to be on this show. He spent the first 26 years with Edward Van Halen, on his journey, and we're going to talk to him about it. And let me tell you, I've read the book. I'm on the audio book now. This is a great book. If you're a music fan, or it's about the music, but it's about the personal stuff too. Like the heart-to-heart talks and the late nights, the stuff you don't see. And this is a great book. I got Steven Rosen, who wrote this authorized biography on Edward Van Halen. He had the green light to write this book before anything bad was ever going to happen with Eddie, with his health. And he's going to be on the show next week, July 23rd, right here on Life of Peter G, The Peter G Show, the book Tone Chasers, the first 26-year journey with Edward Van Halen. And we're going to talk about it. So you're going to want to tune in, all right? Again, thank you, everybody, for doing this and hanging out. This is a real, we broke the record. I went last show with Matt a little over 2 hours, and now we're almost at the 3-hour mark. But it was worth every second. Even you guys, the nut kickers, I appreciate it. Again, you're here for a reason. So that's it. Where are we at? Be kind. Please subscribe, follow, and share. Sharing, as even Matt said, is really important. Saying, hey, it was a good show. You might want to check it out. A lot of great stuff to hear. Follow the guy. Go check out Matt. Matt's got great content, and he even has a co-host, and it's worth it. All right. My name is Peter G. I want to thank everybody for watching Life of Peter G, The Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. All the shows are on demand after they're over with, and many shows get uploaded to Rumble after this, Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, and then all the shorts on TikTok. TikTok murders me, too. They take down most of my stuff, and they mute it. They're a pain in the asses. But I still try to play their game. But please subscribe on my YouTube because they're killing me over there. And I do a lot of the shorts and highlights everywhere, and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. All right? That's it. I love you guys. I truly do, because I know it takes a lot of dedication to watch a long-form show. But here we are. All right? Be kind. You don't have to take a lot of shit from people. Life is hard, but you don't have to be an ass either. Think before you speak. Life is short. We all want to live and be happy. I do. And like I said, sometimes you just got to know when to shut the fuck up, and I'm going to do that right now. I love you. All right? That's it. Love you guys. Peace out.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorce dad, single dad, divorce dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
Mm-hmm.